Oh. Hi again, this is Del Burnett of AFRTS Sports in Washington. And today, from Oakland, California, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Oakland Raiders from the Oakland Coliseum. Now, we'll be joining Al Wester and Monte Stickles of Mutual Sports for today's game in just a moment. A beautiful day for football in Oakland. It's in the 60s, and we'll be going to the Coliseum momentarily. This is a rematch of last year's dramatic AFC Divisional playoff in Pittsburgh, in which the Steelers won 13-7 on a storybook last-minute catch by Franco Harris. The Raiders repeated as Western Division champions, while the Steelers are the AFC wildcard. Oakland won its sixth division title in 7 years, defeating Denver in the finale. Registered club record of fewest points allowed, 175, compared to 233, the previous mark in 1967 and 68. So both teams are set for the big game. In case you missed it, the Redskins were beaten by the Minnesota Vikings earlier today, 27-20 at Bloomington, Minnesota. And now the Minnesota Vikings will be watching intently tomorrow when the Los Angeles Rams meet the Dallas Cowboys at Irving, Texas. The winner of that game will then, of course, meet the Vikings in the NFC Championship game 2 weeks from tomorrow. This is the first of the two AFC games. Now, tomorrow, Cincinnati will meet Miami at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. And, of course, the winners of the game that you'll be hearing in just a moment and the Cincinnati Bengals-Miami Dolphins game will meet for the AFC Championship. And, of course, finally, they'll get around to it at Houston. It'll be at the Rice Stadium. It'll be the Super Bowl game for 1974. Now, the Raiders have installed as 4-point favorites in this game. Pittsburgh finished the season with a 37-14 stomping of the San Francisco 49ers, and then they headed south to Palm Springs, California, getting ready for this game today. Let's go now to Al Wester at the Oakland Coliseum.
Introduction of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're being roundly booed here at the Coliseum. Remember, this is Oakland territory, and they believe in their Raiders. In spite of their inconsistencies on offense, though, the Steelers were the second highest scoring team in the American Football Conference with a team record 347 points. With Bradshaw and Franco Harris healthy at the same time, they should be in top condition for the game. In Oakland, on the other hand, the Steelers will be facing one of the best balanced teams in the National League. The Raiders also led the AFC in offense as well as defense, and they have an ideal blend between passing and rushing. Monte Stickles has the lineup, but right now, let's take timeout for 30 seconds.
Pittsburgh Steelers coach Chuck Noll was asked if he would use anything new in a playoff game that he didn't during the regular season.
That got you to the playoffs. You work all year and you've been successful. That's what gets you to the playoffs, and you pretty much have to do the same stuff. There's not that much. Just a few changes here and there, but for the most part, you go with what got you there.
Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Chuck Arnick Van Tarkington, the daring scrambler, was finally living down his reputation for being a loser, tossed a pair of fourth-period touchdown passes today to John Gilliam, sparking the Minnesota Vikings to a 27-20 NFC playoff triumph over the fired-up Washington Redskins. More about that game, stymied for most of three quarters by George Allen's solid defense. Tarkington led the fourth-period rally with TD passes of 28 and 6 yards to Gilliam within a 65-second span, as a chill crowd of over 45,000 roared. Tarkington, in the first playoff game ever for his controversial 13-year career, will now direct the Vikings, as we mentioned earlier, in the NFC Championship game on December 30th against Sunday's Dallas-Los Angeles winner for a berth in the Super Bowl. Tarkington's first touchdown pass to Gilliam, who couldn't hold on to a pair of important passes in the first half, climaxed a brilliant 71-yard drive in 8 plays to wipe out a 13-10 Washington lead. On Washington's next offensive play, Nate Wright picked off a pass by Billy Kilmer, the Washington quarterback, who played an excellent game, by the way, considering the fact that he got out of the hospital on Thursday. That was the story of Game 1 in that playoff series in the National Football Conference. But getting back to this AFC playoff game now, the Raiders enjoying fine weather as they're playing this game in 60-degree temperatures, we mentioned a while ago. Steelers will be facing one of the best balanced teams in the National Football League. The Raiders led the AFC in both offense and defense. Raider quarterback Kenny Stabler set a team record by completing 62.7% of his passes. Now, his favorite targets have been wide receivers Fred Blittenkoff and Mike Siani, and tight end Bobby Moore. However, Stabler will be hounded by front four, which many regard as among the best in pro football. They are L.C. Greenwood, Tom Keating, Joe Green, that's Joe Mean Green, and Dwight White. They've helped sack opposing quarterbacks 33 times, while the Steeler secondary topped the NFL in interceptions with 37. Marv Hubbard has gained 903 yards in the regular season this year. Charlie Smith's total is 682. Clarence Davis, 609. They will spearhead Oakland's rushing attack today, while Steeler quarterback Terry Bradshaw will be handing off to guys like Franco Harris, who picked up 698 during the regular season on the ground, and Preston Pearson, whose total is 554. Now with quarterback Terry Hanratty subbing for the injured Bradshaw, the Steelers beat the Raiders at Oakland during the regular season by a score of 17-9. Stabler left that game early with an injury, and the Steelers responded with 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Of course, the Steelers have another weapon in the foot of Roy Garella, who has done a fine job in the few years he's been in the National Football League, and that is a plus, of course, in this game for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is an old team. It's been around a long time. Before the AFC joined forces, the AFL, American Football League, we should say, joined with the NFL. They've been around back since the 1920s. Let's go back now to Oakland.
Pittsburgh has won the flip of the coin, and they are going to receive. And right now, we're getting all set for the kickoff. Well, it's going to be a real head-knocker today. Both are great defensive football teams, and I really like to think that the ball is going to be put in the air. Both teams are noted for their ground game. So that means if one defense stymies the other and vice versa, the only alternative is to put the ball up. You have some fine passers in Terry Bradshaw and Kenny Stabler, and a great set of receivers for Oakland, and a couple of fine pass catchers for Pittsburgh. Barry Pearson coming in to fill in for the injured Ron Shanklin this afternoon, and Frank Lewis really threatened in the deep secondary against the Oakland Raiders. Fred Blittenkoff, one of the leading pass receivers for Oakland, has 48 catches. So I believe if both ground games are stymied, we will see the ball up in the air. Ray Guy kicking it off. Ray Guy kicking it off and kicking it out of the end zone. Down deep, Steve Davis and Preston Pearson waiting for the kickoff. The Steelers bring the ball into their 20-yard line. Pittsburgh has possession with a first down coming at their 20. Terry Bradshaw will be quarterbacking this football team. Number 12, Preston Pearson, number 26, and Franco Harris, number 32, are in the backfield. The wide receivers are Barry Pearson, number 83, and Frank Lewis, number 43. Lewis splits out to the right. Barry Pearson is deployed to the left. I formation in the backfield, and Bradshaw is up under the center. First down for Pittsburgh at their own 20-yard line. Approach set in the backfield now. There's a flag on the play. Sistron jumped across the line. Was he drawn by the center, Ray Mansfield? Well, it appears that he probably was. Nope, it's against the Oakland Raiders. Very quickly now, we'll try to give you the offensive lineups because we joined this game just before the kickoff. Barry Pearson and Frank Lewis are the two wide receivers. At left tackle, John Call. Sam Davis at left guard. Bruce Van Dyke at right guard. Glenn Ray Hines at right tackle. John McMakin is the tight end. Ray Mansfield is the center. Pittsburgh now with a 1st and 5 from their own 25-yard line, and here's the handoff to Harris, and Big Franco pulls his way up the middle. He's out to the 32-yard line before left side linebacker Phil Villapiano makes the stop. There's the first down as Pittsburgh rolls for a 1st and 10, the first time they have the football. Offensively in the backfield for the Steelers, number 12, Terry Bradshaw quarterbacking. Preston Pearson and Franco Harris are his setbacks. Now remember, the wide receivers are Barry Pearson, 83, and Frank Lewis, 43. Both are wide. Barry Pearson split out to the left. Frank Lewis split out to the right. It is 1st and 10. Pittsburgh at their own 33, and here's the handoff and running wide to the right, turning the corner, trying to get around it. He's stopped at the 35-yard line. Running with the football is Frenchie Fuqua. Fuqua going in on the last play and moving it up 2 yards, advancing it 2 before Villapiano and Tony Klein make the stop at the 35. Give him 2 yards and call it 2nd down and 8 for the Steelers. Preston Pearson and Frenchie Fuqua are in the I formation as the Steelers line up with a 2nd and 8 from that 35-yard line. Again, Pearson wide to the left and Lewis deployed out to the right-hand side. Back to throw, pass to the sidelines. Great catch on the sidelines by Barry Pearson at about the 37-yard line as Terry Bradshaw hits his man, and Willie Brown covering over there could do nothing but pounce on top of him. That ball is at the 38-yard line. A gain of about 3 yards. It's 3rd down and 5. All right, here's Franco Harris coming in, replacing Frenchie Fuqua in the backfield for the Steelers. And Alonzo Thomas coming in as an extra defensive back and replacing number 55, middle linebacker Dan Connors for the Oakland Raiders. They're expecting the pass with a 3rd and 5 situation, long yardage. Here's the tight end splitting out there, McMakin, and in the slot to the right-hand side, Franco Harris. Back goes Bradshaw to throw, looks over the middle, throws, almost intercepted, incomplete. It was in the hands of Willie Brown, and he couldn't hold on to it. That was a tough break on Willie Brown. He picked off 2 balls here last week to bring his team back and get a lead over Denver. Willie Brown is one of the more sure-handed people in the league as far as interceptions are concerned, but that time I think the ball sufficed him more than anything. Franco Harris coming out of the backfield for the first time in this ball game. You won't see much of that unless Pittsburgh throws us some more surprises. At any rate, the punt now, Al, down at the 18-yard line. We'll get the first look at what the Raiders want to do on offense. Well, the Steelers have punted. The ball is down at the Steeler 18-yard line, and it is Oakland's ball. At their 18. The Oakland Raiders now, offensively for the first time, with quarterback Kenny Stabler. The Snake calling the signal. In the backfield, Charlie Smith and Marv Hubbard. And here's the handoff, and I believe it's Hubbard, who bangs over the right side, gets it out over the 20. He may have reached the 21-yard line before Mean Joe Green wraps him up at that point. A gain of about 4 yards on the play, bringing it out to the 22. That's where the officials put it down. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The Raiders with Mike Ciani as one receiver and Fred Biletnikoff as the other one. Wide to the right-hand side is Biletnikoff. In the slot out to the right is Ciani. They're heavy to the right as far as receivers go, but here's the handoff to Smith. He's trying to turn the left corner, can't do it. Run out of bounds back at the 16-yard line. Mel Blount, one of the top cornerbacks in the American Football Conference, runs him out of bounds, and that's a substantial loss from the 22 back to about the 16, about a 6-yard loss. This is a spot that you want to try to avoid at any time in the ball game, especially this early. Oakland now with a long 3rd down situation. It looks like about 3rd and 12, and the Steelers love this situation. They'll throw those 4 linemen on the big pass rush and force that ball up in the air. All right, Ciani splits out wide to the left. Biletnikoff is out wide to the right. Throws set in the backfield. Stabler has it dropping back. He has a 3rd and 13. Throws to the sideline. Flag on the play as the catch is made at the 20-yard line. And Mel Blount is right there with the receiver. Grabbing the ball. Charlie Smith out of the backfield. Hit down immediately by Blount. But those flags came flying at about the same time. Now quickly, the offensive lineup for the Oakland Raiders. Mike Ciani at the split end. Art Shell at left tackle. Gene Upshaw at left guard. Jim Otto, the center. George Beal the right guard, John Bell the right tackle, Bob Moore the tight end. Yardage going to be stepped off against the Steelers. Going to cost Pittsburgh 15. Pittsburgh has one of the most aggressive defensive backfields in professional football. They picked off 37 balls this year, and they didn't do it by being nice. That time, I think it was Blount coming out, bumping Ciani on his pass pattern. Offensively in the backfield for Oakland, as they have a first down at the 35. Kenny Stabler quarterbacking. Charlie Smith and Marv Hubbard are the setbacks. And here's the handoff, and it is Smith who tracks straight up the middle. As he takes the ball, spins over the 35 out to about the 37-yard line. The pileup there caused by Tom Keating, the defensive right tackle of the Steelers. Keating, along with Mean Joe Green. In that front four for the Steelers, Dwight White is the defensive right end. L.C. Greenwood is the left end. Tom Keating and Mean Joe Green are the defensive tackles, and that's what they call the steel curtain. The linebackers are Andy Russell on the right, Jack Ham on the left, Henry Davis in the middle. Both wide receivers are split out. It's 2nd down and 8 now for Oakland from their own 37. The handoff and up to the 40-yard line with the football, Marv Hubbard. Hubbard fights his way before Mean Joe Green has him at the 40. They're going to place it down at about the 41-yard line. Dwight White credited on that tackle with Green. They've got to go to the 45-yard line, so that means there's a 3rd and 4 situation facing quarterback Kenny Stabler. The young man who is in the ratings the #1 quarterback in the American Football Conference. 63% of his passes completed this year. Ciani goes wide out to the left. Splitting to the right, Fred Politnikoff, #4 receiver in the league. Back goes Stabler to throw. Backfield out, and there's the pass. Over the middle, complete. Grabbing it off is Ciani. He's down at the 46-yard line. Enough for the first down. Linebacker Jack Ham has him after he gets the first down. And the official says the ball was at the 48-yard line. That was a beautiful play where Stabler utilized the man coming out of the backfield to screen off Jack Ham, and then Ciani cutting under the other offensive receiver, picked the ball off just before Ham could get his hands on it. Clarence Davis, apparently. Clarence Davis from Southern Cal, the young man who's a great runner, great blocker in the backfield and replacing Charlie Smith. So it's Davis and Hubbard there. And here's Davis taking the handoff wide to the right, turns the corner. Now over the midfield stripe. He is into Pittsburgh territory to the 45, to the 44. John Rouser has him at the 43-yard line. The offensive thrust of this great Oakland Raider football team being felt now by the defensive unit of Pittsburgh. Great block there by George Beal of the right guard. He pulls and he really throws his weight around. The ball is on the Pittsburgh 44-yard line. First down. The Oakland Raiders. First period of play. There's no score in the game. 9:37 remaining in the first quarter. The clock is running. Davis and Hubbard are the setbacks behind Kenny Stabler, the quarterback of the Raiders. Here's the snap and the handoff. Hubbard has it, tries to the left, turns in off the tackle, to the 45, 30, down to the 25, out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Glenn Edwards knocks him out of the 23-yard line, and oh, brother, the Raiders are exploding, and they're exploding early. Marv Hubbard going off the left tackle. What a beautiful way he picked it so. Gave a little juke outside, cut in behind Jack Ham, and then found daylight as the other people cut off the pursuit in the defense. Beautiful blocking by the offensive line. Beautiful blocking in that front line up there with Shell and Beller at the tackles, Upshaw and Beeler at the guards, Jim Otto, big double O. He's played 196 straight football games. Throw set in the backfield. Stabler dropping back. First down on the 24-yard line. Trying to throw. Goes to the sidelines. Did he trap it? Incomplete, I believe, at the 20-yard line. They're saying the pass was trapped. Covering was Mel Blunt. The intended receiver there coming out of the backfield was number 28, Clarence Davis, and he was down on his knees trying to scoop it up. It's an incompleted forward pass. The black and silver uniforms of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis's great football team. They've won 6 division championships in the last 7 years. An explosive team, great passing team, fine young quarterback. Already named for the Pro Bowl. Kenny Stabler handing off. Davis with the football, trying the middle. He tried the crossbuck there, got up the middle for about 2 yards before defensive right end Dwight White and Joe Green stick him pretty good there at about the 21-yard line. Let's give him 3 yards, call it third down, and 3rd and 7. In the defensive backfield now, number 24, Jim Thomas comes in for the Steelers. And going out of the ball game, middle linebacker Henry Davis. This is the extra pass defender. 5 defensive backs in there against the pass. With a 3rd down 7, you can expect Stabler to throw. Gianni out wide there. Handing instead in the middle to Davis, and there he goes to the 15. He's down to the 13-yard line. He's got the first down. There is a real gamble. A beautiful situation where he had the halfback draw, not the fullback draw, but the halfback draw to Clarence Davis. Really a big surprise, because you'd be looking for somebody like Banaszak or Hubbard, the big power running back, in a situation like that. Kenny Stabler really fooling the Steeler defense that time. For you that may have tuned in to catch the second half of the doubleheader here, didn't hear the first game, Van Patrick and our mutual crew in Minnesota covered and brought you the play-by-play action of the Minnesota victory over Washington, 27-20. We have a first down at the 13-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers for Oakland, and here's Oakland putting the ball in play, and that's Davis walking right over the left tackle. He's inside the 5. He's down to the 3. Glenn Edwards stops him at that 3-yard line. Clarence Davis using that chop block in the middle of that time by the off-guard George Steeler just perfectly. Slithers through, and he loves to cut the daylight. He loves to cut back in there. Davis this year carried the ball 116 times for 609 yards, a 5.3-yard average per carry. Monty, Bob Coffey tells me that's the 6th first down in a row in this drive by the Oakland Raiders. They have moved the football. And here's something you don't usually see against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh may give up 1 or 2 first downs on a drive, but never 6. This is really something unique for their defense to give up that many. They're moving the ball over to the hash mark and measuring it there, and I do not believe that they have the last first down. They may have missed it by an inch. The indication is that they did. Second down, about an inch to go. Both tight ends are in there. Stabler, Hubbard with a handoff, tracking the left side to the 2-yard line. He has the first down. Denny Myers taking the tackle along with Mel Blunt. And it is first and goal for the Raiders with the ball at the 2-yard line. Hubbard wanted the touchdown that time. He thought he could pick up the first down. He's run for 6 TDs this year. 54,000 packed into the Coliseum here at Oakland, California. Al Wester, Monte Stickles, Bob Coffey, our mutual West Coast crew. Oakland on the verge of a touchdown. It's a scoreless football game here in the first quarter with 6:04 remaining. Stabler has him up to the line. First down, goal to go from the 3. Man in motion to the left, and here's the handoff. It is Charlie Smith who tries to crash through the left tackle, but he finds the hole is clogged at the 1-yard line. Tom Keating is the man responsible for stopping the play right at the 1-yard line. Beautiful block there on that play, Monty, by Marv Hubbard. Hubbard, he just couldn't clear the way far enough. All right, it is second down. Goal to go. The Raiders are at the 1-yard line of Pittsburgh, and here's Hubbard trying to crack it in over the middle again, and he cannot find the room. The Steelers hold again. Craig Hanneman was the key man on that charge to stop the play and to stack it up right in the middle of the line. The line of scrimmage has not changed. It is still the 1-yard line. It's third and goal for the Raiders. And here comes Fred Biletnikoff back onto the playing field. Biletnikoff had been replaced by Cliff Branch. And without a dearth of injuries, it is one of the key reasons why Oakland has had a good football team this year. They've been able to alternate Davis and Smith, Hubbard and Banaszak, Biletnikoff and Branch. All right, third down. Here's the snake. Kenny Stabler, hands under the center with the snap. Hubbard with the football, backs into the end zone. Touchdown, Oakland! Low block by Gene Upshaw, the left guard, making it possible for Marv Hubbard to crack in from the 1-yard line on the third try. Oakland's on the scoreboard. The Raiders lead the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 6-0. They have not been able to beat the Steelers the last 3 times out. Here's the try for the extra point. George Blanda pushed it between the uprights. It is good. So with the score, Oakland 7, Pittsburgh nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
That game we told you about earlier, the NFC playoff game at Bloomington, Minnesota, won by the Vikings 27-20. Looking at the stats, very, very close. The Redskins had 18 first downs, Minnesota 17. Rushes, 42 for the Redskins, 155 yards. Minnesota on the ground 34 times for 141. Through the air, Washington gained 159 for the Vikings, and Tarkington 218. Return yards, 46 for Washington, 29 for Minnesota. Kilmer attempted 24 passes, completed 13, had 1 pass intercepted. Tarkington attempted 28, completed 16, and also had 1 pass intercepted. In the punting department, Washington kicked 4 times, 37.3 for Mike Bragg. For Minnesota, 6 times with 31.9. Fumbles lost. Washington had 2 fumbles. They lost 1. Same thing for the Vikings. Penalties, none for Washington. 2 against the Vikings for a total of 9 yards. You can see, as the score indicated, a very, very close game. The Redskins got down inside the 30-yard line twice in the first half, but could not come up with any points on the board.
Here's the kickoff. Preston Pearson, Steve Davis down deep. Hey, there's Davis, 5 yards, bringing it out to the 15, the 20, out to the 23-yard line. He hesitated there, 5 yards deep in the end zone as he took the kickoff from Ray Guy and then raised it back out. Banaszak makes the tackle. The ball is at the Pittsburgh 23-yard line. So the Steelers will have it offensively for the second time. Terry Bradshaw quarterbacking this Steeler football team. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson are the setbacks in the I formation behind him. Barry Pearson, that's the second Pearson. That's right. 2 of them in the lineup. Split out to the left and Frank Lewis to the right. Now the setbacks spread from the I. Here's the snap and the handoff, and tracking over the left side is Preston Pearson. He's over the tackle and out to about the 28-yard line are Toms and Otis Distrunk are responsible for making the tackle. The two big tackles of the Oakland Raiders make the stop out to the 28-yard line, so let's call it a gain of 4 yards. We'll call it second down and 6. We've got a station break coming up very shortly as Pittsburgh with a second and 6 from their 28-yard line up. Strong to the right, the setback, Pearson and Franco Harris. And again, it's Pearson taking the handoff, trying to go off the left tackle as he sweeps to the left, can't find running room. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by the defensive right end, Horace Jones, and by Otis Distrunk. Give him a yard gained on that, and we'll call it third down and 5 with the Steelers at their own 28.5-yard line. 3 minutes and 29 seconds it ends. The handoff goes to Franco Harris, and Harris is smothered at the 30. Horace Jones, Tony Klein, the whole defensive front 4. For the Oakland Raiders, and Oakland goes mad. Jones and Bombs and Smith-Trunk and Klein in that front 4 with Irons, Dan Connors, and Phil Villapiano as the linebacker. And back in the punt formation goes Bobby Walden. He's standing on his 15-yard line. Here's the kick. Back there waiting for it, and making a catch is Atkinson at the 30-yard line. He's spun on the tackle back to the 25, but I think it'll be marked, if I'm not wrong, at about the 27.
Al, I might notice a little bit of complacency, possibly, in that the Pittsburgh Steeler offensive line. The last 2 times they tried to get the ball on the ground on first and second down yardage, I noticed the tight end, McMakin, was on his back in the backfield, had been knocked back there. So was the left tackle, Kolb. So the defense of the Oakland Raiders really handing it to the Pittsburgh offensive line. They're going to have to suck it up and get ready for this football game. They've been knocked down now 2 or 3 times in a row.
There's a timeout on the field out here with the score. Oakland 7, Pittsburgh nothing. Now this word.
Reiterating on some of the things I just said, the Raiders are really handling that front line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Otis Sistrunk, who you saw jump off sides in the first play of the game, probably because of anxiousness, is really handling his people in the middle. Now, they've made some adjustments, the Oakland Raiders have, in that defense, because they have had some problems against trap blocking and off-tackle blocking where a guard is pulling. So they've made a couple of adjustments. They've gone to an odd man front with linebackers running from the rear, either left or right, and it's really hurt the Pittsburgh offensive line. So I expect this thing to take a little bit better shape now if Pittsburgh wants to remain in this ballgame. They've got to toughen up.
The Oakland Raiders starting with the first down at their 28-yard line, and a handoff goes from Stabler to Marv Hubbard. But right in the middle of the line, Mean Joe Green meets him head-on, along with help from Ernie Holmes, and they stop him at about the 29. A gain of just about a yard on the play. While we've got a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports network.
Now, this is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Stabler handing off down to Charlie Smith, and Smith trying to turn the corner, hit behind the line of scrimmage as the strong side linebacker, or strong safety, Mike Wagner, comes charging across and makes a tackle about a yard behind the original line of scrimmage. It looks like he's hit back at about the 28-yard line. That's where they're putting it down, at the 28 to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be third down, 10 Oakland from their 28-yard line. The Oakland Raiders lead in this football game 7-0. There's a minute 49 left in the first period, and the clock is running. Both wide receivers, Siani along with Politnikoff out wide to the right. Stabler's back to throw. Plenty of time. Look, throw incomplete at the 35-yard line. Up at the 40-yard line, a comeback pattern by Mike Siani that bounced right off of his chest.
A little bit tough to catch a ball that's thrown with the velocity that Kenny Stabler has behind it. Siani coming back towards the ball, the momentum of his body crashing into the football, coming very, very hard at him. It's awfully tough to catch, especially if you don't try to use your hand. He was trying to body catch at that time.
Well, Monty, you've caught enough forward passes as an all-pro at one time with the San Francisco 49ers and twice All-American at Notre Dame to know a little bit about that. Here's the kick as the Raiders put the ball in the air. It's a fair catch called for. And the ball is pulled in by Dennis Myers. Myers makes the catch at the 34-yard line as the Raiders have to kick it away on a 4th and 10 situation. Good field position now. The Steelers have the ball at their own 34-yard line, and they're down in this ball game by a touchdown. A minute and a half remaining in the first period from the Coliseum here in Oakland, California. The Raiders lead 7-0 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. As they took the football, they moved 6 straight first downs, 82 yards for a touchdown the last time they had possession. So with the score, the Oakland Raiders 7, the Pittsburgh Steelers nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Eddie Crowder, looking for replacement with a successful major college coaching career, resigned today as head football coach at the University of Colorado, but remained on as the school's athletic director. Crowder said that he hoped to name a successor as soon as possible, but said that Maryland coach Jerry Claiborne, a former Colorado assistant and Crowder's #1 choice to assume the control of the Buffalo program, definitely would not take the job. And Crowder told a late morning news conference at Boulder today, "I would like to clear the air on Jerry Claiborne. Jerry made a contract for 2 more years with Maryland and intends to remain there. He's a man of principle who wants to fulfill his obligation. I realize that is rare." Among the possible successors were Frank Kush of Arizona State, Don James of Kent State, Bill Battle of Tennessee, Frank Broyles of Arkansas, and Johnny Majors of Pittsburgh. Crowder said he made extensive contact with possible candidates and said he would make the final decision.
Well, the officials put it back into play very hurriedly there. They clipped us for about a half a minute of our timeout, and consequently, we miss a big play. Not a big play, but one in which Terry Bradshaw takes the snap, goes all the way back to his 15, tries to come to the sidelines with a pass, throws it away. He just can't reach his receiver. So it is second down 10, Pittsburgh with the ball at their own 34-yard line. High formation. Franco Harris, Preston Pearson, setbacks behind Terry Bradshaw. He has the snap. He's back to throw. He's got the time. He looks and he goes. Incomplete at the 45-yard line of the Raiders, intended for tight end John McMakin. McMakin made the turn-in behind Bill Villapiano, the left side linebacker. Made a dive at it. Bradshaw with plenty of time to throw. Rifled him one out there that gave him too much of a lead. So it is third down, 10. And the sun breaks through. Throughout the afternoon, we've had it breaking through here. It rained all day yesterday. McMakin goes out of the ball game. At tight end, Dave Williams has come in. And I believe we are going to have a timeout. We are going to have a timeout for the Steelers. So if we've got a timeout, let's take 30 seconds for our stations now, because our stations need a little extra time. So timeout now for 30 seconds.
Now, I noticed on that last play over the middle, the Raider linebackers converging very well. They read the quarterback's eyes in that zone defense, and of course, when Villapiano feels the pressure of the tight end going across the middle, he starts calling to his defenders, saying in. They hear this, they get the support call, and then they converge on the football. So it was lucky that McMakin wasn't a little bit closer to that football. Dan Connors really had a shot at him.
All right, Monty Stickles with a 3rd and 10 situation, and the Steelers down 7 points. You got to believe Bradshaw is going to go to the air again. He has that extra man in there who has the speed, Dave Williams. Williams, Pearson, and Lewis are the wide receivers. All three are split out. Well, apparently one of the Raiders jumped offside. Forrest Jones, the right end, defensive right end, as the alignment came up to the line of scrimmage. And Pittsburgh, the Steelers picked the football up and just held it. The flag did fall, and it'll be 5 yards against Oakland, moving the ball out to the 39-yard line, and it'll be a 3rd down and 5 situation instead of 3rd and 10. Pittsburgh with the ball at their 39-yard line. Back in a huddle between the 25 and 30 now as they break. Here's Williams wide out to the left-hand side. Barry Pearson in the slot to the left. Frank Lewis is split out to the right. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson are the setbacks behind quarterback Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw back in the pocket. He'll throw. He looks. He finds a man. He rifles it. It's complete at the 46-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and down the minute he caught the football was Dave Williams. He's nailed and brought down by Willie Brown. Boy, this Williams has got a lot of moves.
He sure does. He's a smart cookie. He's been around the league about 7 years now. Came over from San Diego and they cut him loose. He knows coverages. He just works for an open spot, that time in front of Willie Brown.
Dave Williams first. All right, it is first down for Pittsburgh. And the ball is down at the 47-yard line. That's where it's placed in Raider territory. A bluff for the quarterback. Bradshaw keeps. Spins around the right side. Broken play as he comes to the sidelines and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. It had to be a broken play, Monty.
Right, Al. You wouldn't want to turn your quarterback loose in this league on the option play. The wishbone hasn't taken over yet. And I always wonder about Chuck Noll when he sees his quarterback rolling out or running or scrambling in a situation like that, because Terry, as you know, was hurt a few weeks ago with a separated shoulder. I'd get a little nervous if I was coach.
I got to believe it. Bradshaw had the football, hit it on his hip as he rolled out to the right, and I think he was looking for Preston Pearson. Pearson is the deep back in that eye. Franco Harris is in the middle. As Bradshaw brings him up to the line, he gained 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the Oakland 44-yard line. Now he's set back to spread. And here is Bradshaw slipping down, getting up. The ball slipped out of his hand. He grabs the football. The official says he threw it. He threw his arm back. The ball slipped out. As he brought it down, it slipped out and fell on the ground.
That's the ruling. If your arm is coming forward, the motion of your arm is coming forward, the ruling is it's an incomplete pass from there. No matter what happened, it appears that time he had the same problem Jerry Premian had in the Super Bowl last year when he raised his arm to throw and the ball just slipped out. However, Terry's arm was coming forward, so that's the ruling.
All right, here's Mike Macon. John McMacon, the tight end, who is leaving the ball game. He's going to the sidelines, and in his place comes Dave Williams. So there'll be 3 wide receivers. Williams, Barry Pearson, Frank Lewis, all are spread. 3rd down, 7. Pittsburgh at the Oakland 44. Bradshaw back to throw. He has the time. The ball batted high in the air and intercepted by Oakland. Art Combs is the man who hit the ball in the air, and Phil Villapiano, the left side linebacker, is the man who picked off the interception. As Bradshaw tried to rifle one in there, Combs hit it high in the air. Intercepted, and at the 40-yard line, the Oakland Raiders have possession. 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Oakland ahead in this football game, 7-0 over Pittsburgh. Here's Kenny Stabler bringing them up to the line of scrimmage, handing it off to Charlie Smith, as Smith takes it, tries on the crossbuck, going over the right tackle, hit at the line of scrimmage, blasted down at about the 39-yard line. Jack Ham and L.C. Greenwood get credit on the tackle there on the stop, and the ball is placed at the 41. So give him a gain of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and there's the gun to end the first quarter. That's the end of the first quarter with a score. Oakland 7, Pittsburgh nothing.
Al, I'm going to think back about that interception. Now, we've seen Terry on a broken play roll out. We've seen him drop back. We've seen him have to, I think, dump the ball on the first play of that series. This is not the Steelers team that we saw last week. The Steelers normally like to stay on the ground. They like to run Franco Harris and Preston Pearson in the middle, off to the weak side sweeps, things of this nature. And the problem today is they're putting the ball up in the air on 1st and 2nd downs, which is not their type of play. At least it hasn't been over the 14-game schedule. Consequently, that great Raider defense, who incidentally leads the league in defense, has picked off the ball now, and they've stymied 2 or 3 drives for Pittsburgh. So my old buddy Momentum is going for the Raiders right now.
All right, Monty, the first play of the second period, Oakland in front by a score of 7-0. In case you tuned in late, didn't catch the first of the doubleheader today, the Minnesota Vikings defeated the Washington Redskins 27-20. And our sports director, Van Patrick, had a great game up there in Minnesota. Tremendous football game. Now tomorrow, 12:45 Eastern Standard Time, over many of these mutual stations, Cincinnati is at Miami, and I'll be in Miami, flying there tonight to broadcast the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. And then Van Patrick will be over in Dallas to bring you the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys as the second half of the doubleheader.
And I'll be laying in bed listening to you, Al.
How about that, buddy? Oakland has the 2nd and 9 situation from their 41-yard line after the interception. Here's Stabler giving it off to Davis. Davis spinning out wide to the left, cuts in, finds running room, gets out to the 44-yard line. He's hit down at the 44-yard line as Dwight White and Andy Russell are responsible for the stop. In that defensive front line for Pittsburgh, L.C. Greenwood, Dwight White at the ends, Joe Green, Mean Joe Green, and I believe Ernie Holmes at the moment. No, Tom Keating at the tackles. The linebackers are Andy Russell on the right, Jack Ham on the left, Henry Davis in the middle. Mel Blount and John Rouser are the corners, and Glenn Edwards and Mike Wagner are the safeties. Second down and about 6. Back to throw is Stabler. Looks, throws over the middle. Got Ciani at the 50-yard line. Ciani breaks one tackle to the 45. Down to the 40. On his way to the 35-yard line. Mike Ciani with a great catch and a great run before Henry Davis runs him out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 35.
Ciani came all the way across on that pattern. Stabler had both backs coming out of the backfield, which is really a surprise for me because the offensive line in this last game with Pittsburgh had such a hard time holding everybody off. I thought they may hold the backs in the block this time, but they didn't. They cleaned out for Ciani coming underneath, and he caught the ball.
That is first down for the Oakland Raiders. In possession of the Pittsburgh 35-yard line. And Stabler with a quick snap, handing it off and giving it to Pete Banaszak. And Banaszak has running room. As Gene Upshaw and Art Shell open a hole for him. Andy Russell finally pins him as he goes over the left tackle down to the 30-yard line. The official puts it at the 29-yard line for a gain of 6 yards. It'll be second down and 4 for the Oakland Raiders on the 29-yard line of the Steelers. We're in the second period. Oakland leads in this football game 7-0. They moved early in the first quarter. 6 straight first downs. Went into the end zone with Marv Hubbard jamming it over from 1 yard out. Second and 4. Oakland at the 29-yard line. The handoff. Banaszak again over the middle. He's got the hole to the 25, to the 22-yard line. Andy Russell along with Tom Keating. Russell and Keating make the stop. That ball is on the Pittsburgh. 7-0 they lead. 11:04 in the clock running in the second period. And Banaszak flex over the left side. He's down to the 10-yard line. He's inside the 10-yard line. First down, Oakland. First and goal to go. Marv Hubbard really following the blocking in the middle now. And I think they're going to pick on Tom Keating and Joe Green. Those two tackles are fine tackles, but they're very active. And if you run right at them, they may take themselves out of the play. 8 first downs for Oakland, but 3 for Pittsburgh. That'll give you an idea who's dominating this game. Stabler now with a first and goal at the 8-yard line has Clarence Davis back in the backfield. And Davis sweeps to the left, cuts in over the tackle, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. I don't believe he gained more than a yard if he picked that up before Jack Ham, the strong side linebacker, puts the stopper on. I've noticed now Dwight White, number 78, the right defensive end for Pittsburgh. He threw Bob Moore down in the secondary that time after the whistle, and he was tussling with John Bellow a couple times. Extracurricular things may cause a penalty. Dwight White better calm down. And it's Banaszak and Davis in the backfield there with Stabler. And it's Davis now trying to sweep to the left. Stops, turns around. The little guy scoots back into the line. He got forward maybe a yard. There was no gain on the last play, so it was second and goal from the 9-yard line. And now he picked his way to about the 8-yard line for a 1-yard gain before Mean Joe Green puts the stopper on him and brings him down. And it'll be third down and goal to go from the 8-yard line. As the Raiders line up with a third down situation, quick snap, the wide receivers out, both of them. Stabler looking for a man to throw to. He's being pursued now, and he's going to have to eat the football back at the 17. L.C. Greenwood was there. Joe Green was putting the pressure on him, and also up to help on that and really give a charge at him was linebacker Andy Russell, defensive captain of this football team. So it is fourth down, and the Raiders could not put it in there. That means the field goal contingent will come on. George Glenda will be moving in there. The line of scrimmage is back at the 18-yard line, a loss of 10, and Glenda will be kicking. He will attempt the field goal with Kenny Stabler holding at the 25. Here's the snap. The ball is down, and the kick is on the way. And it is good. So, with the score, the Oakland Raiders 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers nothing. There's a timeout on the field.
Let's take a look at these two teams now in the regular season. Oakland 9-4-1, Pittsburgh 10-4-0. The Raiders started off by losing to the Minnesota Vikings 24-16. Then they defeated the world champion Miami Dolphins 12-7. lost to Kansas City 16-3, defeated St. Louis 17-10, San Diego 27-17, tied Denver 23-all, beat Baltimore 34-21, shut out the New York Giants 42-0, then lost a couple of games in a row. The Raiders lost to Pittsburgh 17-9 and to Cleveland 7-3. They came roaring back to beat San Diego 31-3, Houston 17-6, Kansas City 37-7, and Denver 21-17 last week. Pittsburgh opened up with a win over Detroit 24-10, defeated Cleveland 33-6, Houston 36-7, San Diego 38-21, then lost to Cincinnati 19-7, came back to beat the Jets 26-14, Cincinnati 20-13, Washington 21-16, Oakland 17-9, lost to Denver, Cleveland, Miami before winning the last two games to Houston 33-7 and beat San Francisco 37-14.
Down deep, Preston Pearson and Steve Davis, and Pearson has it out to the 10, the 15, picking his way to the 20. He's up to about the 23-yard line, and he's nailed there by Monte Johnson. Our selection committee, Roger Williams of the San Francisco Examiner, Tom Lamar of the Oakland Tribune, and Al Abrams of the Pittsburgh Post. They will choose the most valuable player in today's game. Pittsburgh has the ball at their 23-yard line for the first down. Bradshaw now has got to get the offense away. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson are his setbacks behind him. Hands it off to Pearson, and Pearson sweeping wide to the right, puts his head down, barrels his way out to the 25, on up to the 26-yard line, as Phil Villapiano is the man to make the tackle at that point. Sam Davis, the left guard of the Steelers, fine pulling guard, with excellent speed, really pulled and led the way there on a good sweep to the right, moving it from the 18 out to the 21, a gain of 3 yards. We'll call it second down and 7. Going to the sidelines, Dave Williams, and John McMakin now comes back in at tight end. With Preston Pearson, or Barry Pearson, split out wide to the left. Frank Lewis to the right. Second down, 7, Pittsburgh. The handoff to Franco Harris, and he's by lonesome. Somebody really fouled up on their blocking, because there was the big right end, Jones, staring right into the eyes of Franco Harris after the handoff. Art Toms and Horace Jones responsible for stopping him at the with a pickup of maybe a yard. He got it out to about the 27-yard line, so we'll call it third down and 5.
Could have been Davis that fouled up on the play. Maybe the call was to keep him in the line, but usually he pulls and blocks for Franco in that play.
Third and 5. The Steelers at their 27. A pitch out to Franco Harris. Wide to the right. Put down at the 26-yard line with no gain. Eli Wilson and Phil Villapiano, the linebacker and cornerback on the left side for the Raiders. Stop that play before it starts. It'll be fourth down. A loss of a yard on the play, 4th and 6. And back into bunt formation goes Bobby Walden. A 41-yard average. His longest kick, 57 yards. Jimmy Warren and George Atkinson are the beat backs. That's Warren up at about the 45, and back at the 30 is Atkinson, and here's the kick, and Atkinson has it at the 33, the 34, to the sidelines, up the sidelines to the 45, the 50, to the 45-yard line of the Steelers, and out of bounds. But back at the 33-yard line is the flag. George Atkinson with a great run back, and it may be nullified. I see another flag, too, at the 45-yard line. Monty?
Right, the first call will probably go from the one at the 32, where Joe Carroll was trying to block, but he did not have the right angle. And what he was trying to do was give a little shove to the man in front of him. He shoved him just behind the shoulder pad, So his head was not in front of the opponent's body. It's got to be clipping, and it's going to put the Raiders in a hole.
Tomorrow at 12:45 Eastern Standard Time over many of these mutual stations. Cincinnati at Miami, the Bengals and the Dolphins. I'll be in Miami, flying there tonight to broadcast that game. The Then following that game, immediately following, Van Patrick will be in Dallas, Texas. Van will have the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, looks like a timeout down there. So, with the score, Oakland 10, Pittsburgh nothing. Timeout on the field. Now,
let's check a few stats right now, these two teams during the regular season. The passing department for Pittsburgh, they had 3 passers. With the injury to Bradshaw and Hanratty, Joe Gilliam filled in for a while. Bradshaw, considered the number 1 passer, attempted 180, completed 89. His percentage was 49.4 for 1,183 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he had 15 passes intercepted. Terry Hanratty attempted 69, completed 31. His percentage was 44.9, 643 yards, 8 touchdowns, and had 5 passes intercepted. Young Joe Gilliam attempted 60, completed 20, 33.3, 331 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 passes intercepted. Kenny Stabler has 1 backup man. That's the veteran Darryl LaMonica. Stabler completed 163 passes. He attempted 260, 62.7 the top passer of the AFC, 1,997 yards, 14 touchdowns, and he had 10 passes intercepted.
Clarence Davis taking a handoff from Kenny Stabler on a first down from their own 18-yard line. Scoots over the middle of the line, breaks to his left, gets all the way out to about the 25-yard line. Glenn Edwards racks him up at that point. A gain of just about 7-8 yards. They place it down at the 26. The Raiders have the ball at their 26 with a second down 2 situation. Gianni wide to the left. Politnikov split out to the right, deployed out to the right. Here's the snap, the handoff to Marv Hubbard, and Hubbard is cut down behind the line of scrimmage by L.C. Greenwood. The big defensive left end, a sparkling play as he cracks through. He takes his man with him, throws him into Hubbard, and Hubbard is knocked down for a loss. That's going to drop the ball back to the 22-yard line. Going to be 3rd down and 6 now. 3rd and 6 for Oakland. The ball at their 22. And again, the wide receivers are split out. Bob Moore tight on the line there as the tight end. Charlie Smith, Marv Hubbard, and Clarence Davis, I beg your pardon. And Davis takes the handoff. And Davis tries the crossbuck and comes up to the 25-yard line. May have gained 3 before the linebackers, Jack Ham and Henry Davis, stop him at that point. That will bring up a kicking situation. 4th and about 3. And the punter, Ray Guy, goes into the game. And what a punter. 2nd in the American Football Conference this year, 45-yard average. This fellow once kicked one this year that hung 5 1/4 seconds in the air. Can you imagine? Number 1 draft choice. The deep back. Back at about the 30-yard line, Glenn Edwards. As Guy gets his foot into it and kicks the Sailor. And Denny Myers, and it is Edwards with the football at the 38, to the 40, the 45, to the midfield stripe. He is into Oakland territory to the 45-yard line. Great run back there. Steve Sweeney is responsible for the tackle at the 45-yard line. Let's take 10 seconds now for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports network.
And this is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Oakland 10 and Pittsburgh nothing. A 10-0 football game. The Oakland Raiders leading. And Monty, I would say right now, Pittsburgh in their best field position will have to crank up the offense. They've got to get on the scoreboard.
This is true. The Raiders put themselves in a bind when they had a clipping penalty on the last punt exchange. They got deep in the end zone, and typical, I think, of the Raiders all year in their theory, especially after being successful and having a 10-point lead, does not want to take a chance of putting the ball in the air, getting themselves in jeopardy. However, with the the kick return, it got them back into field position. Ray Guy kicked them out of trouble, but then the return up the middle caught the Raiders by surprise, and the Steelers are in business. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson, the setbacks in the I formation. Both wide receivers split out. Pittsburgh 1st and 10 at the Oakland 45-yard line. Now the setbacks are strong to the right, and here's the bluff up the middle, back to throw, and throwing to the sidelines, completed the 35-yard line, grabbing that
football is Pearson. Pearson is down to the 25, on the way to the 20 before Danny Connors finally brings him down. Great pass combination. Jerry Bradshaw to Preston Pearson, and it's good for a big game. The ball is at the 22-yard line of the Raiders. 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second period here from the Coliseum in Oakland, California. 10-0 Oakland leads Pittsburgh, and the Steelers now trying to get it back. They have a first down. That's their fourth first down of the ball game. Wide to the left, Barry Pearson. Frank Lewis is split out to the right. Barry Bradshaw with the first down at the 21-yard line of the Raiders now. As the snapper hands it off to Franco Harris, and Harris cracks over the right tackle to the 15-yard line before Phil Villapiano brings him down right on the 15. Otis Sistrunk gets credit on that, and the officials say he fell forward to the 14-yard line. That's a gain of 7 yards. It'll be second down and 3 for Pittsburgh. Steve Davis goes out of the ball game. Harrison Pearson, the setbacks behind Terry Bradshaw. 5, 6, 7, 8 yards back, looks and throws. A look-in pass that is incomplete. It hit the shoulder pads of tight end John McMakin. George Atkinson was there to help on the play, but this one just absolutely got away from McMakin. He couldn't hold on to it at the 10-yard line. Brought back to the 14. It will be a third down now. And remember, McMakin, you'll find throughout the afternoon, will be a prime target on third down situations. He will not be this time because he has gone to the sidelines, and Dave Williams has replaced him. And it's split out wide to the right with Barry Pearson also in the swap to the right. Frank Lewis is wide to the left. 3rd and 3. Bradshaw back to throw. Looks and throws way over the head of the intended receiver. There's a flag on the play. Looks like a personal foul against the Raiders. It's going to be a costly one. Tony Klein got a little too exuberant, you might say, Al. He came in, and after the ball was thrown, took a little whack at Terry Bradshaw. It's going to cost them. And what a situation, because the Steelers could have gone to 3. Now they have a first down and a chance for 7. So Tony Klein's personal foul, roughing the passer, it really puts the Raider defense in a bind. To the 8-yard line. The Raider 8-yard line. It is 1st and goal to go for the Steelers at that point. And now Bradshaw is going to have to work against a tremendously fine defensive unit. The handoff is to Franco Harris. Wide to the left. Stiff arms one man. Can't get away from the other. Down at the 7-yard line as Jack Tatum refuses to let him turn the corner. Bradshaw, great run and pass man. Incidentally, has started 9 ball games this year. Terry won 8 of the 9 starts this season. He's a running quarterback, too. He scored 3 touchdowns running. Great arm on this young fellow who played at Louisiana Tech, throws 60 to 70 yards, tremendous accuracy. But right now, he has the second down goal to go from the 7-yard line of the Raiders, and he is behind. 10-0, and he comes up to the line of scrimmage, turns around and says to the official, "You got to quiet the crowd. My line can't hear the signals." Well, that could go on for a little while, Monty. You and I have seen this. We've seen a ball game held up as long as 15 minutes. That's right. One time here in San Francisco, it was 12. In New Orleans, 15. And I don't think the fans are going to be too kindly when the Steelers come out of the huddle again. You can hear them starting right now. Pittsburgh at the 7-yard line with a 2nd and goal. Bradshaw with a snap, and here it is. Franco Harris blasting up the middle. He's inside the 5. He's at the 3-yard line, and Dan Connors backs him up right there. Those linebackers, Villapiano and Dan Connors and Joe Lyons, all 3 getting plenty of action. Plenty of it today. The ball is down at the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 4. Tight end John McMakin going to the sideline. 2-minute warning now. So there's a timeout here with a score. Oakland 10, Pittsburgh nothing. Now this word.
I noticed that the Raider defense is rallying now. They know they put themselves in a bind with the personal foul of Tony Klein roughing the passer on Terry Bradshaw. And then going down now, Franco Harris running the ball from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. It's going to be an all-out effort for a goal line stand here to see if the Raiders can get out of this situation with just 3 points. They could have if Klein hadn't caused the personal foul on Terry Bradshaw. The situation was 3rd and long. The ball was incomplete, and the Raiders, or rather the Steelers, would have kicked a field goal in the situation. However, now it's 3rd down. It's a big down for the Raider defense. If they can stop them here, they can get away with the 3 points possibly and make up for that personal foul on Terry Bradshaw.
Here we go back to work as the Steelers come up to the line of scrimmage. They have the ball at the 4-yard line of the Raiders, and it's 3rd and goal to go. Bradshaw charged up, calling the signal sign. He sprints out to the right. He looks, he throws. It is complete at the 1-yard line. So, touchdown. The official says touchdown to Barry Pearson. Pearson made the grab. Willie Brown was with him. A great pass into the end zone, into the very edge of the end zone. Bradshaw made the grab at the way. Bradshaw hit Pearson at the 1-yard line. Pearson got his shoulders and 1 foot inside over the goal line, and that was enough for the score. I've got to believe it was a good call by the referee. As Pearson turned on the football, the ball and the defender came together at the goal line, and Pearson showed over. They knocked him out of the end zone, not being able to get in for apparently the touchdown. All right, there's the kick. The point after, booted by Rogerella. It is good. It is good. So, with the score, the Oakland Raiders 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers 7. There's a timeout on the field.
In one of many college bowl games at Tempe, Arizona last night, the high-powered offense of Arizona State was stymied through 3 quarters. So they came up with 3 fourth-period touchdowns to defeat the Panthers of Pittsburgh 28-7 in the Fiesta Bowl. Danny White lofted a pass covering 60 yards to Greg Hudson in the end zone with 10:54 left in the game to start the fireworks for the Sun Devils and put them ahead 16-7. Woody Green added touchdown runs of 23 and 1 yard to clinch the victory for 10th-ranked Arizona State. Green carried for 131 yards on 25 tries to win the battle with Dorsett between the 2 second-team All-Americas. Dorsett had 100 yards on 30 carries. Well, a penalty, personal foul, 15-yard penalty with Pittsburgh on the move gave them a first down deep in the territory of Oakland. That set up the score, but of course Oakland received the help earlier in one of their drives on a Pittsburgh penalty.
All right, Pittsburgh kicks off early. They get the ball down to the 10-yard line, and Clarence Davis trots it right back out to the 32-yard line, where Rocky Blyer makes the stop. There's a flag on the play, though, and it apparently is going to be against the Oakland football team, and there's another big one that is going to be stepped off, and that is the kind of thing that hurts. So from the 32-yard line, they're going to step it off. A 10-7 football game. The Raiders lead Pittsburgh. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the second period here at the Coliseum. The ball, half the distance to the goal, is brought back to the... Oh, it is stepped off the full 15 and brought back to the 13-yard line. That is the 6th penalty against Oakland today. Pittsburgh has only 1. First down. 1st and 10. Oakland at their own 13, and here's Charlie Smith dashing off the left end. He swept the end out to the 22-yard line before Mike Wagner got a hold of him. Strong safety Mike Wagner wrestles him down at the 22. Kelsey Greenwood moving over to help on the play. A gain of just about 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1. As they break the huddle, Bolitnikoff wide to the right. Ciani deployed to the left. Stabler with the snap, and Hubbard gets the handoff and cracks over the middle and brings it up to the 25 for a first down. They're running that ball strong, and prior to the kickoff, they had 94 yards. They had churned out on the ground. 94 yards they had churned out on the ground. The 30 yards on the ground that Pittsburgh has been able to muster. That last touchdown drive, though, was 45 yards for Pittsburgh, but it was divided equally through the air and on the ground. First down. Oakland at their 26. The handoff to Charlie Smith, and Charlie Smith coming right back up the middle, takes it from Kenny Stabler, gets to the 27-yard line. Jack Ham and Henry Davis wrap him up at that point, and the clock continues to run. There's 29 seconds remaining. They may or they may not get off another play before the end of the first half. Remember at halftime, the announcement of the most valuable player, the outstanding player of the year, chosen. Stabler barking signals and giving it to Smith again, and Smith sweeping to the left, cutting it over the left tackle. Stopped just as the gun goes. He stopped at the 30-yard line. The gun to end the first half. So that is the end of the first half here in Oakland, California, with a score. The Oakland Raiders 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers 7. Now
San Diego 88, Kansas State 75. In the Dayton Classic, it was California 64, Drake 62, and the host team, Dayton, defeating Georgia 63 to 55. That was college basketball on Friday.
the Oakland Raiders will receive, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will kick it off. The second half about to get underway from the Coliseum here in Oakland, California. 10-7, the Raiders lead the Steelers. Teeing the ball up is Roy Girella at the 40-yard line. Clarence Davis and Charlie Smith are the deep backs. Smith and Davis, two real speedsters. All right, Girella comes forward, puts his foot into it, lifts a high long one. Clarence Davis at the 3, out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Oh, he's got great leg action. He gets it out to the 33-yard line. Rocky Bleier once again to make the stop. The ball is placed down at the 30, just over the 32. We'll call it the 33.
Rocky Bleier, he must lead the world in tackles on the special teams. You know, he's the only guy in the National Football League who is a Vietnam veteran with 2 Purple Hearts, so nothing scares him. He's really tough on that suicide squad.
Clive Hubbard and Charlie Smith in the backfield with Stabler, and he drops straight back to throw. Comes to the sideline. Completes it to Mike Siani at the 35. Siani to the 40. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line. John Rouser pumps him out of bounds. Mike Siani making the grab. The ball is down at the 41-yard line for a gain of just about 8 yards. We'll call it 8. And say second down and 2 for the Raiders. Now here is Siani and Bolitnikov both wide to the right. Stabler again back to throw. A left-hander, he looks and he goes with the ball. Overshoots his man, and he was open at the 35-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bob Moore, the tight end, had broken and was there. He was behind Glenn Edwards. Incompleted forward pass. A flag on the play. Now let's see what happens.
On the coverage, Pittsburgh, it rolls to their left, double covering the man in the slot. Let it off of Mike Siani to split on that side. So the tight end, Bob Moore, from the left, was easily working his way through the secondary, running a flag pattern. And it's just too bad Kenny couldn't pinpoint that pass. Would have been a long gainer.
15 yards stepped off, personal foul. Moves the ball over the midfield stripe. Oakland has great field position now. It's first down, Oakland at the Pittsburgh 44-yard line, and Stabler is back 12 yards. Sets up and throws over the middle. It's complete to Hubbard at the 35. He's to the 30. Down to the 27-yard line. Marv Hubbard makes the catch. Glenn Edwards makes the tackle. Yards and a penalty can start things off for you, and that is the 12th first down. 12 first downs for the Raiders. he picked up on the last play. It is on the 27-yard line. Stiani and Bolitnikov again are deployed wide, both on the left side. Hubbard on the handoff to the left tackle. Runs head on into Dwight White. The big defensive right end. They've got an odd alignment of names there, this defensive front for Pittsburgh. Dwight White is called Mad Dog. Ernie Holmes is called Fat. Joe Green is called Mean Joe Green. And L.C. Greenwood has the nickname of Hollywood Bags. They'll all end up in Hollywood with those names, too. All right, Monty, here we go now. Bolitnikov wide to the right. Stiani out to the left. It is second down, 10. Oakland at the Pittsburgh 27-yard line, and the handoff goes to Charlie Smith, and Charlie got no further than the 25-yard line. He may not have reached the 25. He was thrown back immediately by Dwight White. Ernie Holmes and Dwight White get credit for the tackle. We're in the third quarter here at the Coliseum in Oakland, California, with the Oakland Raiders leading this football game by a 10-7 score over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The ball is down at the 26-yard line, so we'll give them a yard on the play, and it'll be a big third down coming up for the Raiders. The setbacks are split wide now as Kenny Stabler puts his hands under the center, takes the snap from Jim Otto, gives it off to Smith, and Charlie Smith runs right into the arms of Jack Ham as he tries a counter play, coming from left to right and went right into the hands of Jack Ham and L.C. Greenwood. He dented the 25, but he gained no more than a yard and a half, maybe two. We'll give him 2 yards and let it sit right there. And right while we've got a second, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
And this is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Oakland has brought the kicking team in. The field goal, George Blanda set to try his second field goal of the day. He already has one. Holding at the 32-yard line will be Kenny Stabler. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is on the way. It's good. It's good. So, with the score, Oakland 13, Pittsburgh 7. There's a timeout on the field.
Looking at the pro basketball schedule for Saturday night, Detroit is playing at New York against the Knicks. That's at Madison Square Garden, of course. Cleveland at Atlanta. Houston will be in the Washington, D.C. area to play the Capitol Bullets. That's over at Largo, Maryland. Golden State at Chicago. Buffalo will visit Kansas City, Omaha. Milwaukee at Phoenix, and Philadelphia at Portland. In the ABA, Indiana's at Virginia. San Antonio will visit, or will be hosting San Diego. Carolina will travel to Denver. And Kentucky will be at Utah. In the National Hockey League, the Boston Bruins at Detroit. Buffalo at Montreal to play the Canadiens. Vancouver at Toronto. The New York Rangers will be at Pittsburgh. Chicago at Philadelphia. New York Islanders at St. Louis. And Minnesota at Los Angeles. In the World Hockey Association, Winnipeg at New England. Minnesota at Cleveland. Jersey will host Chicago. Toronto will be at Quebec. Los Angeles at Houston, and Edmonton at Vancouver.
All right, Steve Davis and Preston Pearson are down deep. Glenn Campbell just walked into our booth. Glenn sang the Star Spangled Banner here before game time. We'll try to get a word in with him as we're set to kick off, and here's the booth. Longley. Nope, short, down to the 10. Bounces around, goes out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. And Glenn, how about slipping in for a moment over here with Monty Stickles?
How you doing, Monty?
You tell me, are you a Raider or a Pittsburgh fan?
Well, I'm kind of torn between two teams here. Terry Bradshaw is a good friend of mine, and of course, so is Kenny Stabler and LaMonica and Blanda. But I guess, being from California, I would kind of like to see the Raiders get in on it, you know.
And what do you think about 13-7, Oakland over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both have scored touchdowns. George Blanda has kicked a pair of field goals. 4 yards on the last play. That ball is at the 37-yard line. It'll be second down and 6 for Pittsburgh from that 37. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson, the setbacks behind quarterback Terry Bradshaw. He gives it to Harris. Harris wide to the right, turns the corner, just got around it. 2 steps, Flag on the play as he's hit down at the 41-yard line by Jack Tatum. That flag was against the Steelers, and I think it was holding, offensive holding. Well, Montgomery, that's going to cost the boys from Pittsburgh some yardage, and at the wrong time when they're trying to crank it up and play catch-up football.
Most of the penalties today have been in situations where it's really cost teams. In certain downs, the Raiders have hurt themselves on kick returns. They have 6 penalties for 45 yards. And now the Steelers have 2 penalties for a total of 30 yards. So these have really come at the wrong time. And it's been the history of the Raiders more than the Steelers to incur these penalties during the season.
Thomas comes out, and Alonzo Thomas goes in as an extra defensive back for the Raiders. We've got a second now, 2nd and 20. The ball is back at the 24-yard line, and here's Franco Harris. Nope, there's Pearson, Preston Pearson, I beg your pardon, going up the middle on the handoff. Bill Villapiano, the strong side linebacker for Oakland, makes the tackle at the 30-yard line. Get him about 6 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 13. Villapiano going out of the ball game. And Jimmy Warren is in. That leaves 1 linebacker in there and 7 men back on the pass defense. And here's the throw. It was on target but dropped. Barry Pearson made a diving catch on Terry Bradshaw's pass and couldn't hold on to it. Nehemiah Wilson was the man he was working against, and he had him beat.
Certainly did, Al. Barry Pearson is not the kind of guy to drop those passes. You saw in the early stage of the game, he picked up a first down on a quick out, diving for the football thrown by Terry. And now this time he dropped it. So maybe they're even, 1-1.
Walden is punting for Pittsburgh, getting it away. Atkinson and Warren are deep. With the ball is George Atkinson to the 35. He's up to the 40, and as he is tackled, bounces to the 43-yard line. Fine run back by Atkinson. Larry Brown gets credit for finally pinning him at the 43. 40-yard line. And I believe we are going to have a timeout. So, there's timeout on the field now with a score. Oakland 13, Pittsburgh 7. Now this word.
You see it every time. Every time there's a key penalty, you beat yourself, and certainly Pittsburgh did on that last play. They put themselves in a bind, had to go for the wrong yardage, and the situation turned out that Barry Pearson couldn't hang on to the football. Now, with good field position, the Oakland Raiders take over, and it's going to be interesting to see if they use that wide-open offense they came out in the first part of the ball game and in the first part of the second half. They did it earlier in the ball game. They threw to their back. They threw to 2 wide receivers from one side, the tight end coming from the opposite side of the formation on a deep pattern another time. So the Raiders will have to open up this ball game. They sat on their lead just a few minutes before the half. The fans got upset with them. Now they're in perfect field position to really mix it up and go to town offensively. Let's see what they do.
Stabler has the snap in his back to throw, and he throws it over, dumping it off to his tight end, Bob Moore, at the 45. Moore makes the stab of the ball, holds on to it, gets to the 48. Glenn Edwards wraps him around the knees and knocks him down. Stabler dumping it off to that big tight end, Bob Moore. Moore's caught 34 passes this year, scored 4 touchdowns, has great hands, good speed. Moving it from the 43-yard line up to the 48-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 for the Raiders at their 48-yard line. And as they break the huddle, Biletnikoff goes to the right. Gianni is deployed to the left. Charlie Smith and Marv Hubbard are the setbacks behind Kenny Stabler. They call him the Snake. And here's Hubbard with a handoff from Stabler. He moves over the left guard and gets to the midfield stripe and is just stacked up tight there. Henry Davis, Andy Russell, Jack Ham, all of them in there on the play. That front 4 for Pittsburgh, Dwight White, Ernie Holmes, Joe Green, and L.C. Greenwood. They only had 33 sacks of the quarterback this year in 14 games. That is not good. But they put tremendous pressure on, constantly making the quarterback throw the football. They haven't sacked him but they have really put the pressure on. That ball is over the midfield stripe, so call it the 49-yard line of the Steelers. 3rd down and 3. And here's Stabler. Back 5, 6, 7 yards. Throwing to the sideline. It's complete at the 40. On the Steeler 40-yard line. Mike Ciani makes the catch and is knocked down immediately by Mel Blount. But it's 1st down. The Raiders at the Pittsburgh 40-yard line.
Even though he picked up the 1st down, he had to pay the price for it. Al, Mel Blount and people like Wagner and Mauser, boy, they really hit you. They make you pay the price for that football.
Along the sidelines, Coach John Madden, 5 great years in pro football, watching his team as they line up at the 39 with a 1st down. As Davison taking the handoff, trying to turn the left side, can't get around the corner, gets to the 40-yard line, is hit down almost immediately by Blount.
Biggest problem that time was George Beeler getting shoved out of his lane as he tried to go wide to his left. He got pushed out behind the back, so he was of no use at all as a blocker.
Clarence Davis and Pete Banaszak are the 2 setbacks, replacing Charlie Smith and Marv Hubbard behind Stabler. And here it is. Banaszak taking the handoff and cracked down behind the line of scrimmage. Driving tackle there by L.C. Greenwood. Oh, this big boy does move. He has speed for 245 pounds.
And the biggest asset along with his speed and strength is his quickness, Al. Every once in a while, he'll take John Vella. He's primarily a rookie. He's in his 2nd year, but hasn't played much. And he'll make that big outside move on him and then quickly jump to the inside, take the inside pass, and upset things considerably.
Old Hollywood Beggs can move at inside, Jenny.
Sure can.
All right, here we go. 3rd down, 13. The ball at the 43-yard line. Stabler back to throw. Looks over the middle. Throws completed to the 32-yard line. He's right in again. Bob Moore has the ball at the 30-yard line. Glenn Edwards makes a stop at the 29 along with George Webster. Webster hit on that play at the linebacker spot. But it's enough for a 1st down. And the Raiders now are live again. They have a 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 29-yard line. Ciani comes out of the ball game. He's being replaced in the lineup now. Let's just double check and see who. Mel Branch, I believe. Cliff Branch, I beg your pardon. That's 14 1st downs for the Oakland Raiders, and Cliff Branch has replaced Ciani. 3 great receivers there in Biletnikoff, Cliff Branch, and Mike Ciani. Ciani caught 45 on the regular season. 3 touchdowns. Branch had 19 catches. Biletnikoff 48. 1st down. Raiders at the Pittsburgh 29, and the handoff on the end around to the big tight end. Running with the football, Bob Moore. Moore coming from the left side, taking the handoff on the end around and getting down to the 27. Jack Ham and L.C. Greenwood stop him at the 26-yard line. As a gain of 3, and that may have been the first time this year that Big Bob Moore's had a chance to run the end around.
I haven't seen it. They used to use it a lot when Raymond Chester was here in Oakland, but Bob Moore, not having the reputation for speed that Chester did, they didn't use it much this year.
As they break the huddle now with the 2nd and 7. Both wide receivers are out there. Banaszak is back. They dump it out to Branch. Stabler hits Branch at the 20-yard line, and Cliff has a 1st down again. He's at the 19. Oh, talk about flooding the zone there. They really poured it on there with Branch, with Biletnikoff, with Banaszak, with Davis. I don't think anybody was back there with Stabler at all. He had everybody out there looking to get somebody open. And his 1st down for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 18-yard line. 13-7. The Raiders lead the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4:28 remaining in the 3rd period here at the Coliseum in Oakland, California. Stabler under the center with a snap, and from the eye he gives it off to Charlie Smith. Smith has come back into the game. He's in there with Banaszak, and it's Smith who cracks over the right tackle down to the 16-yard line. Henry Davis and Jack Ham, the 2 linebackers. The strong side man in the middle, Mike. Make the stop at the 15-yard line. Fine block up there for Pete Banaszak. Banaszak with a fine block there, making it possible. Politnikov wide to the right. Gianni back in there, split out to the left. Davis, Clarence Davis with a handoff from Stabler. Trying to go off the left tackle. He finds that the door is closed by Mean Joe Green, the big guy. Stops him at the line of scrimmage. He may have got a yard or two. Joe Green, 6'4", 275, 5-year man, the National Football League's most valuable man on defense last year. Fast, quick, strong, and tough. What was it they said? He's mean as a junkyard dog, huh? Just a mean football player. He said, I want to be a football player, though I don't want to be mean. Here comes Davis, or Smith, out of the ball game. He's been replaced there. Stabler's back to throw. Throws over the inside corner of the zone there on the left, intending it for Clarence Davis. Glenn Edwards knocked it away, and Edwards should have intercepted that football. He had his hands on it.
You're right, Al. He overran it. Coming from his free safety position, he tried to pick off the play. However, he overran the football, couldn't turn on the football and hold on to it like he would have wanted to. Now, the Raiders have stalled again, and we're seeing what made them famous in the beginning of this season, what they call the Raider offense here in Oakland with field goals. Here's George Blanda.
Blanda will kick from the 22, and the boot is up, and it is on the way, and it is good. It is good. The Raiders have a substantial lead. So with the score, Oakland 16, Pittsburgh 7. There's a timeout on the field.
Carl Eller, an off-season actor, put on an award-winning emotional performance at halftime Saturday at Bloomington, Minnesota, to inspire his Minnesota Viking teammates to a come-from-behind victory over the Redskins from Washington. Eller's unusual outburst at halftime lifted the Vikings out of a rut to a 27-20 NFC playoff triumph over the Redskins. Explained running back Oscar Reed, Eller didn't write anything on the blackboard. He punched it, tossed it around, and then kicked it. The Vikings came out, scored 24 points in the second half, after trailing 7-3 at halftime to turn the game around. Eller said his halftime talk was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
All right, we're set to kick off. 57 yards, 12 plays, a 22-yard field goal. The Raiders lead 16-7, and here's the kick. It goes short to the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. And it's going to cost the Raiders a 5-yard penalty, and they'll have to kick again. 3 field goals, 3 for old George Blanda. 24 years in professional football. Unbelievable. This man is the pros' all-time leading scorer, and no wonder. I think he was almost here before George Allen. 1,842 points this guy scored. He was at Kentucky when Bear Bryant was just breaking in his first set of football shoes.
Unbelievable. George may have to kick off if Ray Guy can't do things a little bit better. He's kicked out of bounds now twice in this ball game, and once earlier this year it led to a tie against Denver.
All right, here's the kickoff at the 15-yard line. Davis with the ball to the 25, the 30, up to the 34, trying to get away from a tackle. He can't do it. They're gang tackling him. A little bit of an allocation there now, as the Steelers and the Raiders start to tangle up at about the 25-yard line. Tempers are flaring. Tom Maxwell was in on that. Maxwell a little upset, and I'm sure that Davis was too. We were saying about Blanda, he has 3 field goals this afternoon, 22 yards on the last one, 25 and 31, so he's had 3 kicks today, and that's been the difference in the game, 16-7. Oakland leading Pittsburgh, 2:44 remaining. Pittsburgh with the ball on their 35-yard line where the line of scrimmage is as a first down. Bradshaw still trying to crank them up and giving it off. Bluffing up the middle to Franco Harris. Back to throw, looks and rifles one. It's caught. Great catch in the midfield stripe. Grabbing the football, Frank Lewis with a fabulous catch there. George Atkinson wrestled him down, but Frank Lewis made a fabulous catch.
It was beautiful. Atkinson was draped all over him, tried to strip him of the football as he caught it, tried to rip his arms away from the football, but the good strength by Lewis, he held on. When the ground came up, he still had the football. The fine catch.
All right, Pittsburgh has it on the Oakland 48-yard line. First down. Pearson is split out. Barry Pearson wide to the left. Frank Lewis is out to the right. Franco Harris, one of the setbacks in there, and the pass is thrown out. Intercepted by Oakland. Oakland running with the football, going 50 yards for a touchdown. Willie Brown has just scored. Shaw was throwing for Preston Pearson, rolling out of the backfield. Willie Brown cut in front, took the football at the midfield stripe. 50 yards he goes, 52 yards, I believe. They'll credit it for the touchdown. And Oakland has broken this football game open.
Willie Brown read the offensive pattern beautifully. What he did was to roll to his zone, started to roll to his zone, the safety zone. He had flat coverage. As Pearson came out of the backfield, he stopped, cut in front of him, and picked off the football. He tipped it like a basketball, then grabbed it and ran it in.
Here's the point after move by George Blanda. It is good. So, Oakland has grabbed the lead now, 23-7. Our stations, our friends all down the network line need a little extra time, so why don't we take 60 seconds timeout right now for all of our stations on today's game.
Johnny Washmuller, the Olympic swimming star, famous for his film portrayal of a muscular and dashing Tarzan, was listed in serious condition in a hospital in the Cardiac Care Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Washmuller, 68, winner of 5 gold medals at the 1924 and 1928 Olympics, was hospitalized Wednesday night when he suffered a fractured hip in a fall at a Las Vegas hotel where he works as a host. He underwent surgery for the hip, but attendants detected signs of a heart ailment. Washmuller has a history of cardiac trouble. A light cast was used to set the bone, and Washmuller currently is in traction. Well, as was mentioned, Al Wester, Oakland has opened it up with that interception, and Pittsburgh was just beginning to come back and try to offset the field goal kicking 3 by ageless George Blanda.
And during our timeout, Raiders kicked off, and the Steelers bring it back to the 25-yard line. Now the Steelers trying a pass to the sideline as Bradshaw goes to the air. George Atkinson is there after the catch is made. It's up at the 39-yard line. Frank Lewis making the catch on the sidelines. Run out of bounds by George Atkinson. And it's first down for Pittsburgh. Now they trail 23-7. Bradshaw brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Quick snap, back to throw. Not taking too much time. The pressure on. Rifles it over. Intercepted at the 30-yard line. And once again, picking it off. George Atkinson this time has the football. Brings it back to the 40-yard line. The Raiders have blown it open again with their second interception in 2 series of downs.
Terry Bradshaw forced the ball that time. He threw definitely right into the coverage. And in fact, he overthrew his man, Frank Lewis, who the ball was intended for. And sitting back there, George Atkinson. What a beautiful play by George. Read the pass beautifully. And Terry Bradshaw getting in trouble now, forcing his passes into the coverage. He's done it twice in a row. And the Raiders lead, 23-7.
Oakland's football, they picked off 3 today. Brown, Atkinson, and Filipiano, all 3. First down. The ball is at the 38-yard line of Oakland. They have a 1st and 10 there, and here's Kenny Stabler out of the center. The snap and the handoff. Charlie Smith sweeping the left end, turns the corner to the 45, to the midfield stripe, down the sideline to the 35, to the 30, the 25. He's plucked from behind. Charlie Smith really turned it on. Mike Wagner finally gets him on the far sidelines and knocks him out at the 23-yard line.
He just flat out ran the quarterback, Al. Flat out ran him. And then at the 50-yard line, he jumped over Henry Davis. Henry didn't expect it. He dove at his knees. Charlie Smith jumped back and over him, picking up more yardage. What a great run by Charlie Davis.
31 yards on the play, and Oakland now leading in the ballgame 23-7 with 1:19 remaining here in the 3rd quarter at the Coliseum. Has a first down, 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 23-yard line. Gianni and Bolitnikov are spread, and here's the handoff instead to the running back, Clarence Davis, and Davis sweeps and turns on the right tackle spot and gets down to the 20-yard line as Andy Russell comes up to meet him. Russell makes the tackle at the 20. Give him an extra yard and a half or two as he falls forward to the 18-yard line. A gain of 4 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 6. Oakland at the Pittsburgh 18-yard line. And the Steelers have really run into a football team that is wrapped up. Giovanni, the big center, veteran center, 14 years, 196 straight games, over the ball, snap, the handoff. This time to Davis. Davis wide to the left, turns in over the tackle, inside the 15. He's down to the 14-yard line. Mel Blount, along with Henry Davis, finally stopping him. This defensive unit of Pittsburgh really being
made Dick Williams still property of the Oakland A's, with Williams having been snatched from beneath their Christmas tree and replaced by stocking full of coal by Cronin and A's owner Charles O. Finley. The Yanks now face a decision of either, number one, finding a new manager to replace the departed Ralph Houck, or two, compensating Finley with some prize players. While Finley has previously demanded players such as All-Stars Bobby Mercer and Thurman Munson as payment for the right to sign Williams in recent weeks, he softened his asking price to the two prize Yankee firemen, outfielder Otto Velez and pitcher Scott McGregor. But now appear the Yankees, if a lesser compensation with Finley can be agreed upon, will have to find a new manager while Williams sits out the 2 remaining years of his contract.
19 first downs for the Raiders. The Pittsburgh Steelers have only 7. It has not been a Steeler day. The ball is at the Steeler 14-yard line. Oakland, Kenny Stabler, the young quarterback, to the sideline, talking to his coach. He came off of the bench in 1973 to become the leading passer, the top passer in the American Football Conference. He ran 21 yards for a touchdown last year in the fourth quarter against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Might add, too, Al, that Kenny Stabler in his first year as a starter has set the team record with that pass percentage, completion percentage. And as you look over the great quarterbacks that have played here, that's some kind of a feat.
Oakland comes up to the line of scrimmage. It's the Pittsburgh 14. 3rd and 2. Stabler looking over the defenses. Hubbard and Smith are his setbacks, and he busted him. Back to throw. Look. Throws out in the flat. It's complete to Charlie Smith at the 8-yard line. Smith is knocked out of bounds by Mel Blount. Blount bounces him out at the 8-yard line. John Madden has got to be happy along the sidelines. He waited a long time for this. The last 3 meetings with the Steelers, he's come out on the short end of the score. And now he will have a chance to go against the winner of the Cincinnati-Miami football game that'll be played tomorrow. I'll be in Miami, flying there tonight to broadcast that game. Van Patrick will follow with a play-by-play of the Rams and the Cowboys. All right, it's 1st and goal. Oakland at the Pittsburgh 7-yard line, and here's the handoff to Charlie Smith, sweeping wide to the left. He turns the corner, can't make it around. He's down to the 6-yard line. Again, Mel Blount is over there. Along with Blount is Dwight White, the big defensive right end. While we've got a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
And this is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Pete Benezak has replaced Marv Hubbard in the backfield of the Raiders. All right, 2nd and goal to go from the Pittsburgh 7-yard line. Smith and Benezak, the setback. And it's Benezak with a handoff. Wide to the right, turns back in, puts his head down, gets to the 5. He ran right into the strong safety, Mel Wagner. Spun and on a dime and came back into the hole. Jack Ham finally gets him at the 4-yard line. The Raiders may have to settle for another field goal. They've got a big 3rd down play coming here at the 4-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 4. George Webster just coming into the game to add some strength for the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively. Bolitnikov and Stiani split out wide to the right. as Banaszak and Smith set behind the quarterback, and here's the handoff to Smith, and he tries in the middle, but he cannot do it. He got to the 3-yard line, and Charlie is just sacked up there by big George Webster, by Ernie Holmes, by Henry Davis. That will call for George Blanda, the old pro and the big toe, to come in. He's already had 3 field goals today. He'll try and make it 4, Monty.
And it looked to me that that time the Raiders just wanted to get good field position with George. It's really tough to kick a field goal that close in. You've got to get the ball up off the ground real quickly so that you don't hit under that bar.
Stabler will hold the ball at the 10-yard line. Here it is. It's down, it's up, and it's good. It is good. The Oakland Raiders take the lead 26-7. So there's a timeout with the score. Oakland 26, Pittsburgh 7. Now this word.
Well, it's the same old frustration. We've only had one offensive touchdown by Oakland today, and we've kicked 4 field goals. I say we only because I live across the bay in San Francisco. At any rate, it's been frustrating all year to see this situation whereby the Raiders will go 40, 50, 60 yards on a drive and then have to settle for a field goal from the 10-yard line or the 5-yard line in. It's been very frustrating. The fans in the Bay Area have said we're watching the Raider offense, and I'm sure they're thinking that right now after the 4 field goals by George Blanda. Thanks to the defense and Willie Brown running in the touchdown from 54 yards out on an interception, it did give the Raiders some breathing room. So we're seeing the old story, 60, 50, 40 in stalling, and then the field goal from the Raiders.
Ray Guy will do the kicking. The deep backs are Preston Pearson and Steve Davis. Oakland moving 38 yards in 7 plays, 62 yards in 7 plays, a 10-yard field goal, the culmination. Here's Guy with a sailor now that goes down, hits Davis, bounces away from him. Steve picks it up. He's to the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. He's up to the 32-yard line. Just for a moment there, it looked like Davis might lose the handle on that football altogether. Monty Johnson is responsible for the tackle. So the ball is down at the Pittsburgh 32-yard line. There they have a first down. Oakland well out in front now, in command, leading 26-7, 12:39 remaining in the 4th period. As the Steelers break the huddle and come up to the line of scrimmage, it's Lewis out to the right, Pearson out to the left. Bradshaw has not been able to open that offense up. Up the middle with the football. Franco Harris on the draw. Harris is wrapped up by Toms and by Sistrunk as he brings it out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 2. Minnesota beating Washington 27-20 today. Van Patrick at the microphones there in Bloomington, Minnesota. Great victory for the Vikings over the Redskins. All right, 2nd down and 8. The Steelers from their 34. Bradshaw way back in the pocket, over to the left, looks and goes to the sidelines, throws it over the head of the intended receiver, out of bounds. Barry Pearson at the 45-yard line of the Raiders. Had no chance at that football, way over his head.
Terry Bradshaw really breaking all rules in the books and the scouting reports on him today. I can't believe that he's thrown on 2nd and long yardage. Usually it's something of the nature of a sweep to Franco Harris. They are known to run on 1st and 2nd down, but not this afternoon.
All right, Lewis is wide to the right. Barry Pearson deployed to the left. The setbacks are spread wide. And in the game, incidentally, is Frenchie Fuqua. But back goes the quarterback to throw. Bradshaw will run at the 35. He gets to the sidelines, out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. And there's a flag, a personal foul. As Bradshaw got to the sidelines, he was hit from behind. And I think that caused the flag to be thrown.
Phil Filippiano was the guy that tried to take a little shot at Terry Bradshaw. As he got to the sideline, Terry was on his way out of bounds, definitely going out to stop the clock and, of course, stay away from any physical abuse. However, Phil Filippiano came in and took the shot. Now John Madden is really upset about the call.
Well, Madden may be upset about the call, but looking here with the glasses from the sidelines, it was quite justified. Unfortunately, that was the 7th first down as they step off the yard Pittsburgh at the Oakland 49. Fuqua and Pearson are the setbacks behind the quarterback, and right up the middle goes Bradshaw. Filipiano and Sistrunk are on top of him as he reaches the 45-yard line for a gain of 4. With this Oakland defensive unit, linebacker coach Don Shinnick calls all the defensive signals from the sideline. Incidentally, that front four, Klein, Tony Klein, Otis Sistrunk, Art Tom, and Horace Jones have 40 quarterback sacks this year. Second down, 6. Back to throw, dumping it off to Fuqua. He's got it at the 40. He's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And Bradshaw reaching Fuqua with that little rollout pattern out of the backfield has the first down now at the 38-yard line of the Raiders.
Willie Brown's tough to shake in that secondary. He really reacts from that zone defense.
He's a great little football player. Big interception. He ran back for a touchdown. Help. First down, and back goes Bradshaw. Throws to Fuqua again at the 40, to the 35. Frenchie goes out of bounds. Is hit out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Filipiano coming across. Bounces him out after Tony Klein cut him into the sideline. Filipiano finally hit him out.
Filipiano really taking some shots now. He was upset at that call where they had him for roughing Terry Bradshaw. So what he's doing now is taking the shot without putting his arms and elbows out. Really diving that shoulder into people.
Monte Stickles, Bob Coffey, Al Wester, our mutual crew on the west coast of the Coliseum. 26-7, Oakland leading Pittsburgh, fourth period. Pittsburgh trying to score. Back goes the snap, the handoff. Fuqua up the middle to the 20, inside the 20. He's to the 17-yard line. And Filipiano moving over again. Making the tackle. Sammy Davis, the left guard of the Steelers, with a great block up front to spring him loose. There's another first down for Pittsburgh. The ball is at the Raiders' 17-yard line. Pittsburgh moving. Barry Pearson wide to the left. Frank Lewis split out to the right. 10 first downs for Pittsburgh. And Fuqua on the handoff from Bradshaw. Stopped cold. Palms and Sistrunk, the two big tackles of the Raiders, stopping right at the line of scrimmage. He may have gained a yard, but no more. At the 16-yard line, the ball has been placed down. It's second down and 9. Pittsburgh on the Oakland 16. Pearson and Lewis are wide. The tight end split out just a little. Back to throw. Bradshaw going into the end zone. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Flag thrown down there at about the 2-yard line. And let's see the preliminary indication. It's against the Raiders. Apparently against the Raiders, half the distance to the goal. George Atkinson may be the man they call that on.
Now, let me say this. A year ago, just about this time, about 15 miles across the water, we saw the 49ers and the Cowboys fighting like this, too. 9 minutes, 32 seconds to go in a ball game. It's not inconceivable that Pittsburgh could score 3 touchdowns and win.
You know, you said the same thing about Dallas, and it happened. All right, first down. On the 11-yard line. Bradshaw is back in the pocket. Looks over the middle. Can't find anybody. Throws at the last moment. Flag high in the air. Bradshaw getting rid of the football because Tony Klein had him. And Bradshaw intentionally grounding the football. It's going to cost him yardage.
It was a good call. It was a desperation try by Terry, but it was very obvious. There was nobody within 15 yards of the direction of the pass, and it was a wobbly pass, too. So, you know, he was going down because of the pressure put on him by Tony Klein. Good call by the referee.
Here's Dave Williams coming back into the game. And the big tight end, John McMakin, is going out for the Steelers as the ball is stepped off by the official back to the 26-yard line. It's on the Raider 26. It will be second down and 25 yards to go. They'd have to go to the 1-yard line for a first down. And here's Bradshaw almost slipping down as he goes back in the pocket to throw. Look, throws for the sidelines, intending there for Barry Pearson. And Pearson wasn't close to the football. Nehemiah Wilson was the man on the coverage over there. That would be the area most suspect to pass against, not because Wilson is not a good defender, but because he is not quite as fast as he was one time. The 9-year veteran from Grambling has played some football in his day with Denver, and then by the New York Jets he was picked up. But he's a little man. He's only 6 feet, 165 pounds. And that's the kind of size you like to work on. 4,552 no-shows today, incidentally. 51,110 are on hand. Looks like there's going to be a timeout called by Pittsburgh. So with the score, Oakland 26, Pittsburgh 7. There's the timeout on the field.
The Notre Dame football squad again pushed indoors by snowy field at South Bend, Indiana. With temperatures in the teens, worked on passing defense and pass drills today in preparation for its New Year's Eve Sugar Bowl clash at New Orleans with University of Alabama. Coach Eric Precision said Saturday's workout in the morning was better than Friday's when the squad appeared in uniform for the first time since the December 1st game against the University of Miami. Timing was better, he said. Both offensive and defensive teams got a workout for the offensive running against Alabama defensive patterns. Both morning and afternoon sessions were held. Notre Dame getting set for the big one. That should be as far as it looks on paper right now, looks like the best game of the 4 major bowl games. That's on New Year's Eve. That started last year. There used to be 4 games, of course, on New Year's Day. The other 3 will follow in order, starting with the Cotton Bowl on New Year's afternoon. Let's check other items. The spokesman for the Seattle Supersonics says the NBA has cleared the team of charges that took a dive against the Philadelphia 76ers last season. It was alleged that the Supersonics deliberately threw a game to get the coach fired.
All right, scrambling. Bradshaw looks and goes deep into the end zone. It's good for a touchdown. He's got the score. Frank Lewis made a great catch, and it was a one-on-one battle down there for that football with George Atkinson. How would you believe he caught it one arm, stuck it in his left arm with George Atkinson hanging all over him again? That's the second time that he's done that to Atkinson, caught it with George draped all over him. What a beautiful catch by Frank Harris. His left arm, one-armed in the end zone, and Pittsburgh is now closing in on Oakland. Lloyd Girella will try the point after. Bobby Walden will hold. The kick is up, and it is good. It is good. So, Oakland takes the commanding lead. With a score, Oakland 26, Pittsburgh 14. There's a timeout on the field. Now this...
University of California Riverside coach Wayne Howard was named head football coach at Long Beach State today, replacing the retired Jim Stengeland. Howard, 42, compiled a 17-3 record at Riverside during his 2 years there. Last year, his Riverside team was 9-1 and captured the California Collegiate Athletic Association title. Elsewhere with college football, University of Florida coach Doug Dickey said Friday his Gators will be without the services of 3 players, and starting quarterback Don Gaffney was a very serious question mark as the team headed into Saturday night's Tangerine Bowl game with unbeaten Miami of Ohio. Dickey said Gaffney was suffering from the flu, and the decision would be made later on his status. But he said defensive tackle David Starkey, linebacker Joe Allen, and Mike Stanfield, an offensive guard, all would miss the game. His remarks came at a final news briefing by the coaches of the 2 teams, which have been practicing at Orlando, Florida. Also, the game we played at nearby Gainesville.
Roy Girella teeing it up at the 40-yard line and down deep along the goal line is number 28, Clarence Davis, a great speedster from Southern California. He's quite a football player, this Davis. Strong blocker, good receiver, 200-pounder, 5'10". Standing on the goal line, Cliff Branch is up at about the 23. Here's the kick. The spinning ball down to the 10, picked up at the 9 by Davis to the 15. He's smothered at the 17-yard line. Never had a chance to get head of steam up there as Ed Bradley was down on the coverage and gets him at about the 17-yard line.
Talk about Clarence Davis, Al. He combined with Charlie Smith to go over 1,200 yards rushing for Oakland this year. That's a nice total out of one position in the backfield.
All right, Pittsburgh has closed the gap a little with that touchdown. That beautiful pass. What a fabulous pass that was from Terry Bradshaw to Frank Lewis. The Raiders have possession of the football now. They're on 18. It is first down as Stabler rolls out to the left on a first down. The lefty looks and throws inside, in the middle, complete. At the 25-yard line, Bolitnikov makes the grab, and Mel Blunt grabs Bolitnikov. The ball will be placed down at the 26-yard line. That's going to be very close to the first down. Monte Stickles, Bob Coffey, Al Wester, our mutual crew on the West Coast. Second down, about a yard to go. The ball at the 26. And here's the handoff to Hubbard, and he's got the yard and some as he comes out over the left tackle. Over the 30-yard line, out to the 32. Blunt again. Mel Blunt, along with Mike Wagner, responsible for the stop. Art Shell, the big left tackle of the Raiders, with a fine block up there to get him loose. Take that to 33-yard line, where the Raiders have possession, their own 33. Ciani wide to the left. Bolitnikov is deployed to the right. Both setbacks are spread. Stabler is back. He looks and he throws, and he's got Ciani with a great catch on the sidelines at the 47-yard line of Pittsburgh. Mike Wagner and Mel Blunt are the two men that he beat. Now, mind you, this is the same great defensive unit that was tops in the National Football League in interceptions. 37 interceptions. Blunt had 4, Edwards had 6, Mike Wagner had 8, John Rouser had 6, and this afternoon they have done nothing against a pass that has been really sensational.
Kenny Stabler really picking the dead spots in that zone. That time he just lofted it to Ciani, running a beautiful pattern to the sideline.
Here's Hubbard breaking over the left guard, going right up the middle between Gene Upshaw and Jim Otto to the 45, down to the 43. Andy Russell has him at that point.
I don't know what it is, Al, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, the people you call the Steel Curtain, seem to be standing around a little bit now. They're not gang tackling. They're not as aggressive as they were in the beginning of this ball game.
Monty, they may be looking at that scoreboard. 26-14. The Oakland Raiders lead the Steelers. Got to hurt. Hubbard and Charlie Smith are the setbacks. They're strong to the left. Stabler marking out the signals, and he gets it to Hubbard, and Hubbard takes it to them. He's to the 40-yard line. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Mean Joe Green finally making the stop. Andy Russell coming over to help. Russell, the captain of this defensive unit from Pittsburgh. He made the All-AFC team in 72, and he's played in 4 Pro Bowls, and this fella has good speed. 3 interceptions, running 1 back for a touchdown this year. Hubbard is coming out, and Pete Benezak goes in. Listen to the applause. Ciani and Bolitnikov both are wide to the left this time. Here's Stabler sprinting out, looking, may run it out of bounds. It does. Goes into the bench. Into the bench, and we've got an injured football player down there, a Pittsburgh man who went into that bench too. Dwight White. He is holding that arm, and he may have broken an arm down there.
Dwight White came a long way to deliver a blow out of bounds. He's at least, 10 or 12 yards away from the sidelines in the bench area there. And to try and knock Kenny Stabler over the bench, he's hurt himself. You might call that poetic justice, I don't know, but certainly didn't have to go that far to try to deliver a blow that would put Stabler out. At any rate, he's having a problem now.
Chuck Knowles is coming across the way. Knowles is hurrying over there. This is one of his key men, Dwight White, the big defensive right end from East Texas State, playing his 3rd year in the pro ranks. They are going to put him on a stretcher. Now, the benches actually are almost, they're just that. They're almost like park benches down there along the sideline.
Right.
And as Stabler was being cornered and run out on the sideline, White was trying to get Stabler pinned in and get him out of bounds, and both of them went completely out of the playing field, into the benches, and over the benches, and down there, injured. Is the big young man, the big youngster from East Texas State. Now they've got him up on his feet. He is walking. And there's a round of applause, and it's good to see him up and moving. Well, he's going to have to wait and go around the playing field because there'll be a replacement in there for him. Craig Hanneman has replaced White. Now they're going to let him come across the field instead of waiting.
Here's a point on that, Al. It surprised me that they were going to first consider letting him sit, or rather stand on the Oakland Raiders sideline. You know, it's a penalty. If you go off the wrong side of the field, you can't go out through the end zone. You have to go across and go off on your side of the field, or it's a penalty. And in this situation, it might have been a first down if it had gone against the Steelers. So a technical point, they've now let him go off the field.
Blanda will try another field goal. Big George is in, and this time from the 49-yard line. It's placed down, and he kicks. It's going to be sharp. It's picked off there. Glenn Edwards has the ball back to the 10-yard line. He's got the football, but he's drawn a lot of company. He is just absolutely stacked up at the 12. There's 5 black jerseys around him there from the Oakland Raiders side. So a field goal that this time is short gives the ball back to the Steelers. And Pittsburgh, with 6 minutes of playing time remaining in the ball game, trail the Oakland Raiders 26-14. We'll tell you again that earlier today, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Washington Redskins 27-20. I see there's a timeout down there now, so with the score, Oakland 26, Pittsburgh 14. Now this word.
Now, last year we talked how the Cowboys came back late in the ball game, scored 3 touchdowns, beat San Francisco, and it looked like San Francisco had everything wrapped up. Well, with 9 minutes and 32 seconds to go in this football game, it appeared that the Steelers might have a chance of doing something like that. However, a long drive here by the Raiders that didn't materialize in a score has put the Pittsburgh Steelers now at their 12-yard line. So with 6 minutes and 3 seconds to go, it's going to be a big chore for the Steelers to come back and put a few more points on the scoreboard. However, you never know. An onside kick, a mistake here and there, a big play to put them back in the ball game. It's not entirely impossible. Terry Bradshaw is the type of a guy to do it. He never quit when they were behind in Miami. So let's see what Terry has to do.
Back in, and Bradshaw scuffling around back there trying to throw the football. With the line of scrimmage, his 13-yard line, Bradshaw cornered back on the 3-yard line by Art Tom and by Horace Jones. The right side of the defensive front four for the Oakland Raiders, and they crush him back at the 3-yard line for a 10-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 20 for the Steelers, and they're now working from their own end zone. 26-14, Oakland. 5:35 remaining in the 4th period in the ball game, and they have the setbacks back there. Frenchie Fuqua, one of them, and he takes a pass out of the end zone and gets it out to the 12-yard line. Coming to the sidelines, goes out of bounds at about the 12. Terry Bradshaw throwing to him, and George Atkinson pushing him out. Steve Davis and Frenchie Fuqua, the running backs, with Terry Bradshaw in the Pittsburgh offensive backfield. Well, I would think that they've got the 10 yards back that they lost a moment ago and added 1 yard to it, add a yard to it. It'll be 3rd down and 9. The ball is at the Pittsburgh 14-yard line. There's a mix-up in signals back there, and here's the snap. Bradshaw back to throw, looks and goes to the sideline, incomplete and out of bounds. Trying to get it, Barry Pearson, covered by Willie Brown.
Well, that took some guts to throw that. Standing at about his own 6 or 7-yard line, throwing it way out in the flat area like that. It could have been easily picked off by the cornerback over there, Skip Thomas, and easily run in. But what are you going to do when you're so many points down?
Walden will do the punting. He is back in the end zone to kick. There's nobody deep. The Raiders are giving them the free kick. And it hits on the 40, bounces back to the 41, and is touchdown at that point. All right, before the Raiders take over, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Here are the Raiders in possession now. 5:11 on the clock, 26-14, Oakland leading. First down at their own 43-yard line, and Hubbard with the ball out to the 45, to the midfield stripe. He's in Pittsburgh territory, down to the 40-yard line. Marv Hubbard with a great run there, 17 yards. Mel Blunt getting up off of the ground, and Glenn Edwards in to assist on it. Breaking right over the tackle with Art Shell and Gene Upshaw there, opening ground for it. Hubbard coming to the sidelines now, and Pete Banaszak goes in to replace him. Banaszak will be one of the setbacks along with Charlie Smith. That ball is at the 41-yard line of Pittsburgh. First down for Oakland. Kenny Stabler all the way at quarterback. Hands under the center. The handoff to Smith. Starts to the right, then breaks back up the middle. Goes down the chute. He's down to the 36-yard line. Andy Russell has him at that point. All right, Hubbard is coming right back in. Banaszak is coming right back out. A gain of 5 yards on the play. Second down, 5. Oakland with the ball at the 36-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3:58 and the clock running. 26-14. The Oakland Raiders lead the Pittsburgh Steelers. The shadows of the evening now beginning to creep into Oakland and into the end of the Coliseum. Gianni is wide to the left. Fred Biletnikoff to the right. But this is a running game, and it is off the bat to Hubbard, and Hubbard is down to the 30, to the 26-yard line before he's finally wrestled down. He has the first down, and then some. Marv Hubbard, 9 yards on the play, first down, Oakland.
I guess if you want to kill a clock, Al, there's no better way than to give it to Marv Hubbard on the ground. I get a kick out of the sign across the way. It says it's not nice to fool Mother Hubbard.
Charlie Smith is out. Clarence Davis is in as a setback. 11 first down for Pittsburgh, 24 for Oakland. And here is Hubbard. Hubbard at the 20. Hubbard at the 15. Hubbard is down to the 12-yard line. Oh! Jack Ham and Glenn Edwards finally get him at that point and bring him down. It is finally placed down at the 11-yard line for a 15-yard pickup. 25 first downs for the Oakland Raiders. The Steelers have exactly 11. 2 minutes and a half. The clock running. Oakland knocking on the door. Gianni to the left and Biletnikoff out to the right. Charlie Smith and Hubbard are the setbacks, and Hubbard has the football. And with a man, a Steeler hanging on to him, he gets inside of the 10-yard line and down to the 9. Ernie Holmes looks like the man who's not filing there. Ernie Holmes is responsible for the tackle. Dwight White is back in the game, and White also was in on it. There is the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning. Well, let's see what we can do for our stations now. Many of our stations along the network line need an extra minute, so let's pause 60 seconds for all of our stations.
What a great way to go out against a team that's dominated you in 3 straight ball games. With the 2 minutes on the clock, Oakland ahead 26-14. With the dominance on the ground and running the football and running the clock out with it, certainly the Raiders have smelt the blood, and they've gone after the Steelers here today. You mentioned, Al, at one point last evening, it might be that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a little complacent, maybe not ready for this team. I'll tell you one thing, the Raiders came to play today, and it was reminiscent of the game here a couple of weeks ago when they really handed the tough defeat on the Kansas City Chiefs 37-7. Now it's off to, or maybe here next week, against the winner of Miami and the Cincinnati game, which incidentally you'll be doing tomorrow in Miami. It's going to be a great lineup of games again tomorrow for Mutual.
Kenny Stabler had come to the sidelines to chat briefly with John Madden. He has a second down situation coming up. The Raiders have the ball at the Pittsburgh 9-yard line. We're inside of the 2-minute mark now. Both wide receivers, Tiani and Bolitnikov, are strong to the left. Kenny Stabler up under the center with his snap. Back to throw. Maybe trying something here now. Now he rolls out to the right, looks and throws it out there, releases it to the tight end, Bob Moore. And Moore is down to the 2-yard line as John Rouser pins him on the sideline. That was an afterthought because Moore was actually designated as the blocker on the play, and he was doing... with another touchdown this afternoon. 32-14. The Oakland Raiders ahead. Tomorrow at 12:45 Eastern Standard Time over many of these Mutual stations, I'll be broadcasting the Cincinnati-Miami Dolphin game, followed immediately by the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. Van Patrick will be in Dallas. Here's the snap for the point after. The kick is up, and it is good. It is good. Oakland 33, Pittsburgh 14. Seconds remaining. That is all. 33-14, Oakland leading Pittsburgh. Minnesota beat Washington earlier today, 27-20. That's one that Van did. Broadcasting from Bloomington, Minnesota. And Van will be in Dallas tomorrow. Mr. Patrick and company for the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. And here's the kickoff. A skimming ball along the top of the turf, picked up and returned to the 20, the 25. Running it back out to the 26 is Pearson. Preston Pearson gets it out to about the 28, and a big fight is broken out in the middle of the field now. A couple of Steelers and a couple of Raiders were going at it there. The officials right on top of it stopped it very quickly. On New Year's Eve, the University of Alabama battles the University of Notre Dame. The Crimson Tide and the Fighting Irish. An exclusive radio broadcast comes your way from the Sugar Bowl Classic in New Orleans over the Mutual Sports Network. Mutual Sports proud to be your host for Alabama Notre Dame on New Year's Eve night. But don't forget tomorrow, 12:45 Eastern Standard Time, Cincinnati at Miami. I'll have that game, and it'll be followed immediately by the Rams and the Cowboys, and Van Patrick will be over there in Dallas. All right, the Steelers are up to the line of scrimmage, and here's Bradshaw back and throwing to the sideline. A screen set up. Frank Lewis has the ball out to the 40-yard line, steps out of bounds at that point to stop the clock. Pittsburgh would like to get on the scoreboard once more if possible. There's only 8 seconds remaining, though, Monty.
I think it's academic at this point, but they're still trying. You saw them really give up when they didn't call a timeout with Oakland pounding at the door on the 1-yard line. Otis Siskunk gets a real big round of applause as he comes off. What a great job he did today, really carrying things up in that defensive line.
Pearson and Lewis are split wide, and down they go. And back to throw is Bradshaw. He's got a lot of time. He's being pressured a little bit now. Looks and puts a long one in the air. It is caught. And out of bounds with the football. Frenchie Fuqua as the clock runs out. It's over. It's all over here. A final score. The Oakland Raiders 33. The Pittsburgh Steelers 14. And in just a moment, we'll present the wrap-up of today's game.
Okay, we'll be going back to the Oakland Coliseum, as Al Wester mentioned, just a moment. Taking a look at the AFC All-Star team, which was announced this weekend, the Orange Juice Man and the men from Orange Country highlight the UPI 1973 American Football Conference All-Star team. O.J., who rewrote National Football League rushing statistics while leading the Buffalo Bills to their finest season in 7 years, was selected unanimously to the UPI team, was joined by 7 members of the world champion Miami Dolphins. Simpson, who ran for over 2,000 yards this season to break Jim Brown's single-season record, helped the Bills set a season rushing record for a club. The Dolphins dominated a good portion of the balloting. Paul Warfield was selected as wide receiver, Larry Little at guard, Jim Langer at center, Larry Zonka at running back, Bill Stanfield at defensive end, Dick Anderson at strong safety, and Jake Scott at free safety. Anderson's 29 votes were second only to Simpson's unanimous total. The remainder of the AFC All-Star offensive unit includes Charlie Johnson of Denver at quarterback, Ron Shanklin at Pittsburgh at wide receiver, Odoms of Denver, and Shell of Oakland.
In today's game, as chosen by our board of experts, Roger Williams, the executive sports editor of the San Francisco Examiner, Tom Lamar of the Oakland Tribune, and Al Abrams of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, they have chosen quarterback Kenny Stabler for a super job for the Oakland Raiders for leading them to a big 33-14 victory. All right, let's review the scoring now, and Monty Stickles.
Now Oakland jumped off to a 7-0 lead about 4 minutes into the ball game when Hubbard went over on a 1-yard plunge. The drive went 82 yards in 9 plays, if you can believe that. 6 first downs on one drive against the Steelers. They haven't done that all year. They haven't given up that kind of yardage all year. In the second quarter, from the 25-yard line, George Blanda kicked a field goal after Phil Villapiano intercepted a pass that was tipped at the line by defensive tackle Art Toms. That happened 8:50 into the second quarter. The drive was highlighted by a Marv Hubbard run for 2 of those first downs, so Marv began early in the ball game piling up the yardage on the ground for Oakland. In the second quarter, just before the half, a couple of minutes just before the half, the Steelers went on a drive. They scored on a rollout pass, Terry Bradshaw to Barry Pearson, and that came after a personal foul by Tony Klein on Terry Bradshaw. It set up a first down at the 3-yard line, and Pearson caught a pass in the corner of the end zone, just did make it over the line for the halftime score of 10-7 in favor of the Oakland Raiders. In the third quarter, the Raiders seemed to bog down, but they remained in front. They put a couple of field goals on the board with 11:52. George Blanda kicked his second field goal, a 31-yarder this time, making the score 13-7. The drive stalled after they had gone about 60 yards from their own 20. And the problem again, people thinking that the Raiders playing too conservative when they get down near the goal line.
From the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California, the Oakland Raiders 33, the Pittsburgh Steelers 14. This is Dal Burnett on behalf of our engineer Rod Richardson. This has been a presentation of AFRTS Sports in Washington. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
At 790 and 1420, this is American Forces Radio.
SCN to the zone.